Rated R, this is a warning, you better avoid. Poets are paranoid, DJs destroy. Guess I came back.
That's a G53 and I swear that bitch go bang. Every time your shit come out, she cutting it up. It's only one of me, you cannot touch my brain. You just can't. I'm with all my guys, these niggas ain't in our lane. Bang. I'm a high school dropout, now I'm breaking the bank. Only hit your home one time, I love something. Gang. You got sneaks in this bitch when you standing on my stain. We ain't in a double R truck, got a big ass tank. How you find yourself trying to come up off my thing? And I never do that shit to you cause it's lame. Yeah. Dude, you just got locked up, man, free boy out of the chain. And I love that nigga that day, he'll catch me a break. Nigga bitch cheating on you, talk my bitch, better not do that shit. I'ma lose my shit. My nigga got a stick, I ain't even gotta say he gon' do that shit. He gon' shoot that bitch. Big ass FM, but it's there, go through all that shit. Got a lot of shit. I've been through, but it's like 10 times on through all that shit. And it's crazy how a nigga came up cause I called it. Big Glock on my side, take precautions. Filling my cup up with mud cause I'm ballin'. It's so crazy how I made it, I caught it. Remember when I couldn't get up in college? I'ma still hit this house, meaning much got mine. Pray to look up every night, I'm so righteous. Running from demons, I'm so tired of fighting. She must be off for something cause she wildin'. If my brother needed it, he know he got it. On the hood, by speed and running the bottom. Got the G53 and I swear that bitch go bang. Every time your shit come out, she cutting it off. It's only one of me, you cannot touch my brain. You just can't. I'm with all my guys, these niggas ain't been.
What's up with it, everybody? It's your boy Mookie Jones, the host of Rated R Sports Debates. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls across the world, before y'all come in, make sure y'all smash the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest here, Scapatat. Jay, how you doing today, man? How's your day, man?
I'm doing well. What's up, Rated R community? And Mookie, many thanks to you for having me on, for extending the invite. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to getting into it with you guys.
Yes, sir. and then we got Mr. Maz up here, man. What's up, Mr. Maz? We about to spread some real knowledge of what's going around the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. As y'all know, LeBron James' son, Bronny James, ladies and gentlemen, right? Didn't look too good in his second game, right? As a so-called pro in the Summer League, ladies and gentlemen. He scored a whopping 3 points off of 33% shooting, ladies and gentlemen. Bronny James was not that good whatsoever. I want to hear Scap attack this whole situation with Bronny James, nepotism at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, right? When LeBron James forced the Los Angeles Lakers to draft his trash son, which Bronny James did not deserve to be in the NBA, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. But we know the nepotism on getting Bronny James in the NBA as well and how that situation went. I want your whole response on that, man.
Yeah, I think, look, honestly, it's my same response that I had with JJ Redick. I kind of correlate both of those moves, bringing on the wine sipping bestie podcast co-host of LeBron, a week before they draft his son. And it was in that JJ Redick press conference, the introductory press conference, it was kind of like this. Oh, what, me? LeBron got me hired? No, I didn't even talk to LeBron. They're kind of this avoidance game that they're playing. Like that LeBron played no hand in this. Just come right out and say what it is. Stop insulting us and our intelligence. Just look, if you're LeBron James and you want them to hire your buddy JJ, just come right out and say, I'm LeBron James. If the Lakers want me, they're going to do what I tell them to do. And the same thing with Bronny. This elaborate little dance around him by JJ Redick, by the GM, by probably Jeannie, LeBron, Bronny himself, about how hard he's worked, how much he deserves this. It's all garbage. Just come right out and say, Bronny's the 250th best prospect, more than likely, something along that line. And he was selected 55 overall in the NBA draft. Just come right out with it and say, yo, I wanted my son. I told my organization that I've leveraged and that they're the sycophants that they are, kowtow and bow to me at my every whim. So they're going to do whatever I say. Just stop acting like we're idiots. We all see what it is. This kid can't play. He probably shouldn't even make the roster if you're actually watching these games, but he's already signed a 4-year contract. So we know that his roster spot is, of course, safe next to dear old dad.
Maz, what's your thoughts on that, Maz, about this whole Bronny James situation? He scored 3 points, 33% shooting. Bronny James was not that good. And a lot of people sat there and said, LeBron Sexual sat there and said that he was good and he was that elite. But at the end of the day, he was not good defensively. I have a lot of questions about him. What's your whole overall assessment on this Bronny James situation?
Man, I think Scott is right on point. I think if LeBron James was just give it to you straight and uncut and say, hey, I'm LeBron James. Here's what it is. Either you take it or leave it. Either you sign me or you sign him or you don't get me. I think we still wouldn't like it, but I would respect it a lot more. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the passive aggressiveness. It's the weird tweets, right? It's the awkward communication style, bad leadership. And then strictly from a basketball standpoint, whenever we lowered the bar cap or lowered the criteria for a second-round pick, I mean, you got guys praising he's getting to his spot. He's fighting against big men. He brought the ball up court, right? And then they want to use this injury and he had a heart condition. Well, guess what? He's been cleared to play basketball. And so, I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but once you've been cleared, I mean, all gloves are off. Go play basketball. And here's my final point before Ghost goes. Your dad can't come out and say and tweet, my son can impact the NBA team. And then, quote, put on the laughing emojis, and then he comes out and does this. I mean, it's laughable. It's a joke. He's a joke. He's been a joke. And his son, Bronny, let's just face it. I mean, he's not good at nothing. And Mookie and Scap and Ghost, the media is trying to portray him as being this lockdown or defensive guru. I heard guys' names thrown around, Scap, Drew Holiday, Avery Bradley, Pat Bev. Well, Mark Spear said it best. He's a poor man's Davion Mitchell. I'm here in Sacramento, so I'm a season ticket holder, right? Davion Mitchell is built strong. He can shoot the 3-ball, and he's feisty on defense. This kid is none of that. And so they're changing the criteria right in front of us. I mean, how dumb do they think we are? And it's up to us, to go against the narrative and talk real NBA basketball. So that's my take on it.
Ghost Time, what's your take on this?
What's up, everybody on the panel? Scap, Maz, Mook. I guess we're gonna have to get into this discourse because I'm different from you guys. I don't believe any of that. I don't think that LeBron James Jr., Young King, played that bad. I think they're not featuring him, so you're not gonna see his offense show up. He's out there to play defense, and that's what he's doing. Can y'all tell me a better defender that y'all see on the floor for the Lakers G League team? I don't see one other than Bronny. He's forcing turnovers. He's getting steals. He's getting blocks. And that's what they're trying to groom him to be, a 3-and-D guy. And he's doing pretty good to me. So the nepotism, yeah, okay. I'd do it too. Who wouldn't? You build up all this cachet in the league. You're face of the league. You should get something. This is a partnership. He's a partner with the Los Angeles Lakers. So why would he not get something? Why not get a perk? He's bringing them a bag, so they've drafted this kid. So you tell me who should have got the 55th spot? There's a lot of people could have got drafted in that spot. A lot of teams could have picked up somebody. They didn't. We got Bronny. We're going to live with it. The Lakers fans are fine with it. The only people that don't like it are non-Laker fans.
I don't think Lakers fans are fine with it at all. I think LeBron fans are fine with it. I think actual Laker fans are disgusted with everything that the Lakers organization has devolved into since LeBron basically went there 6 years ago. To your point about him being a 3-and-D, he's shooting 3 of 12 in the 2 games that he's appeared in over the summer, the Lakers Summer League circuit right now. 3 of 12 for 7 points in 2 games in the Summer League, including missing a number of outside shots. I believe the only shot he made, 1 mid-range jump shot and 2 layups for his 3 field goals. And maybe I've seen him force a couple turnovers. I've also seen him get rocked a couple times. I saw guys crossing him over, him falling backwards and guys hitting shots in his face. I mean, this is summer league action. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Right.
He's a 19-year-old going against 23-year-olds right now. Yes, they're going to knock him over every now and then. A lot of those calls should have been offensive fouls. They didn't call them, but that's cool. He's out there grinding. He's doing what he should do. You sit there and say he only shot, 3 for 12? That's the point. He's not featured in any of this offense. The offense that they're running right now does not feature Bronny. Bronny is not the prime. He's not on the ball. He's playing off the ball. He's taking a shot if it's there. If it's not there, he's moving the ball like he should. You say he should be cutting back door. He should be doing these things. Obviously, that's not the offense they want to run because they keep trying to get the ball into Castleton over and over and over again. So what I'm seeing is a young man out there that's being groomed to be a 3-and-D guy. They got a lot of time to work with him. He's not expected to come in and make the Lakers a championship contender right now because he's not going to be in a rotation unless a lot of people get hurt in front of him. This is G League. And if you look at that team, the team is not that good anyway. So I don't know what you would expect them to do. Their number 1 pick, he's not shooting that well. He hadn't had a whole lot of great shooting moments right now, and they're featuring him. So what do you expect Bronny to do on only 12 shots?
Goes. Let me say this right quick, because Son, what you're saying is full of shit, bro. At the end of the day, bro, Bronny James is just not good at basketball. That's the reason why they're not running the offense through Bronny, bro. He is not good. He does not provide no off-ball value. He only can go left. He can't go right whatsoever. His self-creation is trash. He can't consistently get to the rim and finish around bigger athletes and bigger players as well, bro. He's undecided for a position. And you talking about his calling card is on defense, bro. He is going against mid-tier offensive players, and he's still getting cooked in the G League. Imagine if you're going against the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of the world, the Jalen Brunsons of the world, the Kyries of the world, the Lucas of the world. We talking about these upper echelon, all-NBA player, offensive player that can literally just scheme against you and just literally just counter you every time when you try to play defense whatsoever. Imagine that's going to happen in the NBA. He's getting cooked by mid-tier players already. And you talking about they're not featuring his offense because he's trash, bro. He is not good whatsoever. And the reason why we sitting here and holding Bronny to these high standards, because LeBron James sat there and said out his mouth that Bronny James is better than some of these cats in the NBA. Bronny James can be a starting point guard in the NBA for a championship team. So all we doing is hold them to their standards, bro. We're holding LeBron James to the standard. And when you sit there and say that nepotism is good, is okay. No, it's not. It's not okay. Because at the end of the day, you're setting your kid up for failure. Your kid does not deserve the opportunity to get that 55th overall pick. You could have gave it to Ellis and these other guys that are better than Bronny, that outperform Bronny in college as well, right? But at the end of the day, when you dive deep in the water, when you break it all the way down, bro, nepotism is not good because you're basically favoring your family member who does not fit the qualification of getting that position as well, bro. You're giving them the opportunity to go ahead and play when he does not deserve the opportunity. Bronny is not good. He's not great. LeBron James controlled the Lakers organization. You know it, and I know it. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, and also just to your point, if you're a 3-and-D player, you're never going to be featured. Like your job is to just catch and shoot and make, open shots when they come to you. Like you're not going to get to be in a rhythm or be able to shoot 20 times a game. So I haven't seen anything at this stage of this, that what I've seen for his first 2 games that would indicate that he's anywhere remotely ready to do that. And again, we haven't even touched on the fact that he's only 6'1". He was listed at 6'4" for, like 2 or 3 years. He's badly undersized. I mean, I honestly, I cannot see him on the ball in actual NBA games playing elite level guards, anytime remotely soon. And yet he's got that 4-year contract. Again, and to the nepotism thing, I'm not even saying that it's necessarily wrong. It happens everywhere, not just in sports. But just come out and say it. That was my opening point. Stop insulting us, LeBron, and everyone with the Lakers organization, and talking about merit and earning and deserving and how hard of a worker Bronny is. Just quit it. Just come out and lay it on us straight and say, we drafted Bronny. He doesn't deserve the spot, but he's here because he's LeBron's kid, and that's okay, because that's what we're doing as the Los Angeles Lakers.
I don't think LeBron has to say any of that. He doesn't have to admit to any of that, saying that it's some type of nepotism. Look at the ownership.
But it's
if
obvious.
You don't see nepotism in that ownership. It's all over. Lakers is full of nepotism. So I'm definitely saying there's nepotism that Bronny's on this team, but it's a good nepotism for the Lakers because if we don't get Bronny, we don't get Bron. So I'm glad that we got Bronny. Hell, it was like redrafting LeBron, if you ask me. I'm not mad about this. I'm not demanding anything, any explanation whatsoever, because you have to be crazy not to know why we got him, brought him back over there, brought Bronny in and brought Bron back. We have no chance to win a championship without him. So that's why we brought him over there. And to sit there and say, well, we just need to know, we need to hear you say it, it ain't going to change anything. Just hearing him say, okay, fine, I wanted Bronny. LeBron James, yes, I wanted Bronny. Just hearing him say that, what is that going to change? Absolutely nothing. We already know it.
The other thing to your point you just said about winning a championship, that's the other thing that just makes this whole thing smell and reek of a disgusting odor, if you ask me. I mean, LeBron James, he's played 20, he's going into his 22nd full NBA season. He has 4 NBA championships, and it's almost like he doesn't even have to win anymore. It's like he's not even trying to win. Like this season seems to all be now about Bronny. I just saw him in an interview with someone conducted a sit down with him with the Team USA, some kind of a press junket. And he said that quote, this is a direct quote from LeBron James. "It is my greatest accomplishment as a basketball player," in reference to playing with Bronny. It's just a pathetic way to look at things in my estimation. Try to win. Like, how does this move and how does this creating this circus where you have your podcast mate in JJ Redick coaching you and your kid that shouldn't be anywhere near an NBA court? Like, how does that make them more of a viably winning franchise going into next season to achieve the ultimate goal of winning a championship for him? Does it at all?
I mean, you can. I see where you're coming from in that regard, because Bronny is not brought to this team to help us win today. Bronny is not, but Bron is. Without Bron, the Lakers have no chance. And I don't think LeBron James will come back to a team that totally disrespects his wishes. If he says, "I want you to draft Bron," and you said, "No, I'm not going to do it," I think I would leave the team as well. Anybody would. If you can go somewhere else and search for a championship and bring your son on board on that team. So it was the Lakers had to do it. I don't see any reason why they should feel like they did something wrong by bringing Bronny in. We ain't like we're gonna win a championship with whoever we picked in the 55th pick anyway. I mean, you go give me Ellis, whoever you guys claim would be another person we could have took. He wouldn't have got a 1 second of playing time, which Bronny won't either. So I just think you guys are hating on LeBron James and his. And by the way, you said that his greatest accomplishment is bringing in his son to play with him.
That's what he said.
That's personal to him. If he wants to measure his career by what he did on the court and what he can do for his family at the same time, why not? That's him. You can't tell me that that's wrong for him to say that. You want him to feel like the only thing in my mind is a championship. LeBron has proven that he can multitask. He's trying to get a championship and he's trying to advance his family's legacy at the same time. I don't see why they got to be mutually exclusive.
LeBron James has proven that he cannot multitask. That's why he's lost 6 NBA finals and has been swept twice, beat by a record margin, the biggest meltdown in NBA finals history. Let me go back something to what Scott said a few minutes ago about the winning aspect. You know, I'm here in Sacramento, California, 6 hours from LA, right? I've been around the Lakers fans, been around the team, I've been around basketball, right? This is not what they're used to. I mean, Kobe being Bryant would never allow this to go on, right? We can question his shot making. We can question, the way he went about doing things. But Kobe demanded a certain aura, excellence when he walked through the hallways of that arena. This has been a complete clown show. LeBron James does not want to win basketball games, right? He can say what he wants to say, but his actions tell us something totally different. Kobe always says we don't celebrate or praise hanging Pacific Division banners or conference championships, right? It's about putting rings on your finger and doing it by any means necessary. And so, I mean, we're going to blame LeBron, and I think a lot of it lays at his feet. To whom much is given, much is required. And I just don't think that real Los Angeles Lakers fans, which I've known and know, they don't like this. They're not used to this. They're ashamed of this. It's the LeBron James regime who kind of is trying to take over the Laker masses. But if you talk to a real diehard Laker fan in LA, in that county, trust me, they want this dude gone like yesterday.
Sound like Kobe fans to me.
Let me just piggyback that real quick. I just want to say, hypothetically speaking, if Kobe were in the situation where he had a son that was NBA aged and he did not deserve or did not merit a spot on the roster, there is literally, I feel so utterly confident saying this, a 0% chance that Kobe's son would be on the Lakers. It's a 0. And it would be because Kobe wouldn't have allowed it. Kobe wouldn't have wanted that. I feel so utterly confident in saying that.
Objection, total speculation. There's no way in the world you know that. There's no way you can say that. You have no idea what Kobe would do for his son, because we know what he was doing for his daughter. So you have no idea what he would have done for his son. And there's no slight against LeBron James for making a move like this. In my community, this is what you're supposed to do. So move on.
Yeah, I disagree, Ghost Town. Giving Bronny James the opportunity when he doesn't deserve the opportunity. I'm against nepotism. Even though nepotism happened everywhere in sport, it's still wrong to me at the end of the day, right? Because especially from my father perspective, bro, to me at the end of the day, bro, you're basically giving him a handout and basically sitting there and say that, hey, you're not fit for this position, but I'm gonna give it because I'm your dad, I'm your father. Bronny James is just not good at basketball, bro. He's not, and this proves the point. And when we transition to this as well, this is why the Los Angeles Lakers have been a complete shit show since they allowed LeBron James have control within the organization. There has been 3 head coaches that have been fired within the last 3 to 4 years. There have been multiple players that have been traded within that roster as well. And you tell me that the only thing that had a result into and has amounted to is winning a championship in the bubble, getting put out the first round, missed the postseason as well, get swept in the Western Conference Finals, and get put out the first round again. So it's like, what is the direction of what the Los Angeles Lakers are going through? Why are they continue to sell their souls out for LeBron James when they didn't do it for the guy that's considered the greatest Laker of all time and Kobe Bryant? Can anybody answer that question?
Kobe got paid pretty well at the end of his career, and the Lakers are still in contention. So I don't know what you're talking about. Right now, the Lakers are they have just as good a chance as any team in the West to come out of the West.
No, they
so
don't.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's record is 0-0, and there is no indication that the Lakers can't get in a top 4 or 5, 1 through 5 spot. And that's what you're trying to do.
They've only finished above 7 seed one time, and that was a bubble year. Other than that, they've been a 7 seed or higher. I'm not sure why Ghost Town is saying that they're in contention when it's been proven over and over again, Scap, that in the fourth quarter, and I've seen your videos, man, and you broke this down beautifully. Their 2 best players don't close games. And people say that LeBron James has one of the highest IQs. I point back to that Denver game too, this past postseason. AD's cooking, right? He's going, he's doing his thing. Well, in the fourth quarter, Mr. High IQ LeBron James resorts back to what? Top of the key, isolation, dribble, step back threes, and what happens? Jamal Murray at the buzzer, bang, you're down 0-2. And so when your 2 best players, especially the guy who has a ball in his hands and in peak high pressure moments can't close, you're never in contention. And Ghost Town's lying again because they've only finished 7th or below one time, which was 2020. Other than that, they've been a playing team. So again, he's lying, but go with Scott.
Man, the Lakers are in the Western Conference Finals less than a year ago. They changed new ownership or management as far as the bench is concerned. We got a new coach. You don't know where we're going to go. We're going to have new schemes in there, hopefully. We're going to have a better scheme in there, hopefully. The fact of the matter is we were in the playoffs last year. We got knocked out by the defending champions, which is not anything, that's not that terrible. And like I said, but the year before that, we were in the conference finals. The team hasn't changed that much. So it's pretty much the same players coming back. So I don't see why we can't contend for a 1 through 5 spot this year, given that we got new leadership. So we got the same group of guys that came back. They're going to gel a little better than they did before. We still got a trade line to come up. If somebody is missing from the roster we need to fill, we can fill it up then. I don't see why the pessimism. Right now, to me, we should look at this as a clean slate. Let's see where we going with it. And by the mid-season mark, January, we can change it up if we need to.
Look, I agree with you. The Lakers should be in contention. They should be one of like the main contenders to come out of the West. Quite frankly, they should be. They've got Anthony Davis, who was, do you guys know this? That Anthony Davis is the only player in the NBA this past season that made an All-NBA team and All-NBA defensive team. He was second team All-NBA and first team All-NBA defense. They've got that guy and a guy in LeBron who allegedly is still an All-NBA caliber player. He made third team All-NBA this year. That makes him one of the top 15 players according to the writers. So there's really only one other team in the league this year that had two guys make an All-NBA team, and that was Phoenix with Booker and Durant. I don't really think Booker deserved to be on there. I think it probably should have been Jaylen Brown to give the Celtics, but let me get back to my main point here. Look, the Lakers led the Nuggets 70% of the series this year. So they were up 70% of the time. It's the most time spent leading in a series to not win the series in NBA history. And not only did they not win the series, they only won one game. They got gentlemen swept. And, you know, when you go back and look at the sweeping that they took the year earlier, 3 of those 4 games were one possession games in the final 90 seconds. But LeBron James continues to wilt. He continues to fail in those marquee big moments like he has for his entire career. He was smart enough to pair himself with guys that could close for him at other stops. And look, that's just not Anthony Davis. While he's an elite two-way player, arguably a top 10 player, he's not like a finisher or a closer either. So the Lakers have just been struggling in lieu of having that. It ain't LeBron. It never has been, and it's not going to be moving forward. So despite the fact they have all of the dogs that you need, or all of the horses or ponies that you need to be in the race, I don't like their opportunity to get anywhere next year. And maybe what they should have been doing, instead of worrying how to draft Bronny and sign LeBron to a $55 million per year extension, maybe finding a way to bring some guy in that could fill that role.
Scab. You got to stop.
Before you go, hold on, go son. Before you go, we got to read our super chat. Shout out to Yardley, $10 super chat. He said, deep inside, LeBron knows Bronny is not good, and him going to college will hurt his NBA stock. Also, this all season was the most leverage he had to get Bronny in the league. Bronny is done in 2 years. But what you said, go son. What is your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, I agree with the fact that you think we can get back to the, in contention. But I got to say this about your comments about how the games were closed. It wasn't LeBron that cost us those playoff series last year. It was DLo. DLo was the one that didn't score in game 3. And had we had any kind of production out of him in game 3, the series would have been tied 2-2. The games that we lost, 2 of those games came down to a closing shot. LeBron James wasn't the one that gave up those points. They hit one over our best defender, AD, and the other shot was hit over Austin Reeves. So while you sitting here blaming LeBron James and saying he's not good enough to close, he isn't the reason why we didn't finish those games. It wasn't LeBron James. Yeah, he missed a shot that could have helped us, but we still had a lead or a tie, and we lost the game on defense. And it was our best defender that gave up the bucket. So you blaming LeBron, that's wrong. That's misplaced.
He's within, again, one possession games in the final 90 seconds in 3 of the 4 games last year in the Western Conference Finals. They led 70% of the games in this year's 5-game loss to the Denver Nuggets. And the last I checked, Austin Reeves and DLo don't have chosen one tattooed across their backs. They don't call themselves the king. They don't call themselves the GOAT at every opportunity that they have. That's LeBron's, that's his responsibility, the great player's responsibility to get those games over the finish line, those winnable games. If the Lakers truly were outmatched and were just getting blown off the court, fine. The Lakers have arguably better talent than Denver. They led most of the series this year, and they were within striking distance in all of the games last year. But the great chosen one was incapable of finishing those games off. That's on LeBron.
Role players have to show up. You sitting here saying that it's back on AD and Bron. Yeah, they did show up. As far as I know, KCP also showed up. Michael Porter Jr. also showed up. Aaron Gordon also showed up. Role players separate you. When you're that close, it's the role players that's going to separate you. Ours did not. We did not get anything from DLo. As I said, had he scored some points in the scoreless game, we're tied up going into this series. Pressures on the Denver Nuggets to win Game 5. It's a whole nother series. But we didn't get the luxury of that because we saw what he did on the court. And that's why many people don't think he's going to do any better this year. So that's why I'm reserving the trade deadline to really see what we can do when the playoffs come.
So he mentioned role players.
Firmly believe
So Ghost Town mentioned role players, right, Scott? And so, I mean, listen, I agree. Role players get you there, but the superstars take it home. And if you look at the Denver Nuggets, he mentioned KCP and guys like that. Well, wasn't it Jamal Murray and Joker in the fourth quarter doing what elite players do when it's time to really get it? And so you can't have it both ways, right? I mean, great players want that pressure, right? That's why I use the phrase, to whom much is given, much is required, because we've seen DLo 2 years ago literally was the best player versus the Memphis Grizzlies, right, in the second round. He didn't get no credit. They credited LeBron James and said, oh, he's the reason why they won the series. So you can't have it both ways. When you lose, then they blame everybody else. When they win, he gets all the credit. Now, this guy, Ghost Town, he's sad, Scott. He blames Michael Jeffrey Jordan for the 1995 series versus the Orlando Magic when he came back after 17 games. He averaged damn near 37 and 6, right? That's MJ's fault. But he wouldn't dare hold LeBron James accountable for 20 or 11 or this past season. He blames the role players. Did we blame BJ Armstrong or Tony Kukoc or the role players in 95? I don't think we did. We blame Michael. And guess what? Michael's okay with that. We blamed Kobe Bryant in 2004 versus the Pistons, right? And Kobe owned that because great players want that on their shoulder because they know when we lose, it's on me. And so again, lack of self-awareness and lack of self-accountability, man.
When all is equal, bro, you can look at the role players. If the stars are playing even, then you're going to look at the role players. Are they playing even? In this case, our role players did not play even. Our role players didn't show up. So, yes, I'm going to put some blame on the role players when I see that their role players are getting them over the top and ours are not. I don't even understand why we have – what in the world? Y'all act like role players don't matter at all. Yeah, they very much matter. You can't ever sit here and just exclude role player play. It must be there. The stars cannot win championships by themselves. The others must show up, and our other didn't.
But you hold them to GOAT standards. Like, that's the thing.
I'm holding the role player standard. Just do role player thing.
No, but this is the thing. And I'm glad that Maz brought this up because you sit there and this is what you do. You do that every broad section do. They sit there and deflect to role players when LeBron James doesn't get it done. Like you sit there and blame D Wade on why he didn't get it done in 2014. Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen in those later years in those NBA finals in 97 and 98 was not good at all. Comparable. And his stats and D Wade stats was better than Scottie, and Michael Jordan got it done. So it's just like I don't understand, Ghost Town, why you don't hold LeBron James to those standards. Okay, when LeBron James play good and when he wins series as well, is LeBron James get all the credit. He gets all majority of the goddamn credit. But when he doesn't get it done, you want to sit there to blame it on role players. You can't have it both ways.
Okay, I'll help you understand. When I told you that, it was on Mike in 95, which role player did he have on his team that went scoreless? That was bricking like DLo? Which of the role players that he depended on that showed up like that? None, neither. So, in this situation, LeBron James was let down by his role players. And I don't even know why we arguing this. How can a starter have 0 points and then you sit there and say, well, it meant nothing? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. This is what I consider LeBron James blame and hate. That's all I'm seeing.
Step back. In 1998, on the road in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, one of the most hostile environments in league history, right? Pippen tears his back up the first play of the game, right? It's gone. He can barely walk. There's no other league scorer out there with him. Pippen was a show of himself, right? Jordan dropped, 18 points in the fourth quarter, dropped 45 points. Nobody gave Jordan the benefit of the doubt when his second best player on that level was basically a non-factor, right? And then real quick before you go, I don't care if a role player scores 0 points or not. If the game's in the balance and it's a tie game, that's a moot point. I'm great. I'm super because I can do super things. That's why I'm getting paid a super max contract, right? And great players don't harp or be concerned about, oh, DLo didn't score 0 points. You think Kobe or MJ versus Denver would have said, oh, gee, DLo had 0 points. Let me just not do my job. No, they're going to close the deal. Just like Kobe got 15 rebounds in the game 7, versus the Boston Celtics in 2010, because his front line was getting demolished. You do extra things to get the job done. That's what great players do. You pick up the slack where your team is slacking. So, I mean, L and Scap, this guy below you says that he coaches AAU basketball. I mean, I question it, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh,
I mean, here's the thing. LeBron James has had an ample amount of elite supporting casts throughout his entire career. I mean, when you look at the 2016 NBA playoff run that he claims made him the greatest player of all time, that's the first time we started hearing him referring to himself as the GOAT, was after they overcame that 3-1 deficit to the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. In that postseason run, he averaged 26 points per game for the whole playoff run. Kyrie Irving averaged 25 points per game for the postseason run. And then in the finals, when they went down 3-1, Kyrie had 40 on the road to stave off elimination in game 5. He then, I believe LeBron had like 27 in game 7, and Kyrie had 26 on a higher field goal percentage than LeBron in the game. And he hit the game-winning, series-winning basket, the three-point shot over Steph Curry. And yet that series made LeBron the GOAT. We weren't hearing about what a tremendous performance by Kyrie Irving. Like, what a great shot, what a great series, what a great playoff run. It was, oh, that one right there made me the GOAT. When you look at the garbagey little bubble championship that they won in the Disney campuses, Anthony Davis led the NBA playoffs that year in total points scored and in win shares, and he was the best defender in the bubble. And yet that's LeBron. I want my damn respect. That's what he stood up on the stage and said after that one. We never hear about any of the other guys when he's winning, so I don't want to hear about the other guys when he's losing. It's all on him.
Well, he is great. So I guess when you're that great, you're gonna get some accolades. That's just the way it is. If you don't know how that is done, that's Michael Jordan got all his accolades, and Scottie Pippen was doing all the rebounding, passing, and defense. But yet we still gave Michael Jordan all the accolades. Why doesn't LeBron get the same thing? When you talk about 2016, if anybody deserves to be talked about in the greatest of all time, it would be LeBron James, who led in every statistical category known to man. So what are we talking about here? You ever seen that done before in the finals? I don't think so. So yeah, he can make claim to being the greatest of all time. He just completed the greatest thing I've ever seen. Hell, so that's why he's on my radar. That's what put him on the radar. And he proved that he can go to anybody's gym, anybody's team, and bring them a championship. Unlike Michael Jordan, but I don't even want to digress into that because we done cooked him enough and tore enough pages out of his book with all that stat shaving and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, you want to sit here and say that you seen a person, you seen one player go, let's see, 50% of his career play for a championship in the modern basketball era. You seen that? No, you have not. Nobody has played for more championships during their career than LeBron James. LeBron James is
Magic Johnson did it. What are you talking about?
That's right. LeBron James has played the majority, 50% of his career. He's played for a championship. Michael Jordan can't say that. No other player can say that besides Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I watched Kareem Abdul-Jabbar put the crown from his head on LeBron James' head. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the GOAT. So y'all sitting up here trying to nail him to the wall for this or this little bitty thing ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. You're not winning 6, 7, 8, 9 championships in today's basketball. That's not gonna happen. Getting to the championship 10 times out of half of your career, let me see another player do that.
The Eastern Conference that he resided in was total garbage. He played trash competitors to get through to those cheap little cakewalk championship appearances that he got himself to when he was living in the Eastern Conference for 15 years. Since he took his talents out west, he's been to exactly 1 finals in 6 seasons, which again came in that pathetic little bubble tournament in the Disney campus. That's 1 in 6 years once he left his cushy little confines in the Eastern Conference. Furthermore, LeBron was failing miserably in his first 7 years with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He got to one NBA Finals series in his first 7 seasons, and he did not play a team with a winning record in the playoffs till the Eastern Conference Finals, that playoff run. He played the 41-41 Nets and the 41-41 Wizards in the first 2 rounds to get to the Detroit Pistons, who had, I believe, 2 more wins than the Cavaliers that season, and no Ben Wallace, by the way. Ben Wallace was playing in Chicago that season, so it wasn't the same Pistons team that went to the 2 finals against the Lakers and the Spurs. So he got to 1 finals. Oh, and by the way, he got humiliated in that finals. I don't care how old he was, what season it was for him. He averaged as many turnovers as assists. He shot 37% and he got swept in that series. He then came back, won 2 league MVPs, had the best record in the NBA, flamed out in the Eastern Conference playoffs to 2 teams that Kobe Bryant went on to win. And LeBron then threw his hands up and said, I can't do it. I cannot succeed at the level that other all-time greats have. I'm not willing to take on that challenge like the other legends have before me. I think I better just go ahead and collude and crawl my way to Miami to hop on the 3rd best player in the NBA at the time's team, Dwayne Wade, and by far the best player in that conference. What did you expect was going to happen? He went to the other best player in the conference, really the only other good player in the conference other than him, and they pulled in Chris Bosh, who at the time was a top 15 to 20 player. Of course they were going to go to the championship every year. I'm not going to celebrate that. And had he actually been able to win, maybe we could celebrate that, but he couldn't. Not 6, not 7, and he got 2, and then he crawled his ass out of that town too to go build another super team. So I'm not celebrating any of these pitiful little championship appearances. 21 years with high-level supporting casts to win 3.5 championships. I'm not giving him a full 4th championship for that bubble. In 21 years, the greatest player of all time. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah, he's the greatest player of all time. And let me get on this capping you've been doing in here, because this ain't nothing but a whole lot of damn capping. So you came in here talking about he didn't play the Detroit Pistons. Yes, he did. He beat the same core team that won the championship. One player does not make for the team. Then you talk about the fact, what did you say? You sat there and said that he went down to, they colluded. LeBron James didn't collude it. The NBA colluded against LeBron James by putting that team together in front of him, the Boston Celtics. Last time I checked, that's called collusion. 2 of the same teammates getting together in a closed room and sending the best players to one team to stack it up to stop one player. That's called collusion. But you want to sit here and say LeBron James colluded. Yeah, he did what he had to do. You're going to stack up against me, NBA? Then I'm going to stack right back. And what did he do when he went down there and got his weight up? He beat the brakes off of the Pistons. I mean, not the Pistons, the Celtics. Don't sit here and try to act like LeBron James didn't have to make that move. It wasn't the right move to make. He made the move because the move had to be made. You're not going to sit there and put 4 of the best all-time 4 Hall of Fame players on the same team. Actually, it was more than that. They had a ton of players on that team.
Yeah, Kobe beat him.
Kobe beat them with Pau Gasol, but there's levels to this. That's why Kobe's better than LeBron.
No, you don't sit back and get this smoke while I'm talking. I'll let you run all that crap out. So now it's my turn. The fact of the matter was that it was LeBron James that popped up on the scene. He popped up on 2007. Nobody saw that. It wasn't Kobe. It wasn't nobody else. They out of nowhere, LeBron James, little young tail, like you call him, took that team of, you want to call it that, to the finals and faced a Hall of Fame legendary Spurs team, talking about he got embarrassed. Of course he should have got embarrassed. He's playing by himself against one of the greatest teams ever assembled, especially one of the greatest big men. So yeah, he's supposed to look like that. That team was supposed to look like that. Then you're going to turn around and say he did the colluding and you're not going to recognize what the NBA did against him? Man, look, all I hear is a whole lot of LeBron James hate. You still have not explained to me why everybody else been in the league. Why has nobody else did 10 seasons in championship out of 20? Kobe didn't do it. All the other players, nobody did it but LeBron James. And Kobe had Shaq. He sure did. Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. With his only game he can win with one game out of the playoffs without Scottie Pippen. He had all of that. LeBron didn't have anybody, and yet he still done it. He doesn't complain. He doesn't pout. He just pick up his bag, go to another city, and what did he do? Bring them a championship too. All this stuff you talking about sounds to me like a lot of hate. That's all it is. It ain't nothing true about it. You sitting there talking about some LeBron James was not supposed to leave Cleveland. Nobody was coming to Cleveland. Cleveland, not Chicago. It's not LA. It's not Miami. He did what he had to do, and I agree with him all the way. He should have done that. This is crazy. All this LeBron James hate.
Look, right. There's levels to the LeBron, what he did in his decision in 2010. If you want to make the case to me that Cleveland wasn't providing him with enough help, I mean, that's a case that you're capable of making, I suppose. I mean, his team was comparable to what Kobe was working with. LeBron's Cleveland Cavalier team in 08 and 09 was comparable to the team that Kobe Bryant had. But look, if LeBron was incapable of getting it done, which he obviously was because he lost to the Orlando Magic, then he lost to the Boston Celtics, and Kobe Bryant went and beat both of those teams with similar supporting casts. But hey, if you want to make the case that LeBron's not Kobe and he had to leave Cleveland, I'm good with it. But there's there's a fine line between leaving and building a more competitive team versus leaving and building a super team.
Anywhere he went, it was going to be super. The moment he stepped in the court.
Let him talk.
Hold on. Dwayne Wade, the 2 years prior to him joining Dwayne Wade, was first team All-NBA. He finished 3rd and 5th in league MVP voting. And him and LeBron were the only two guys that were on first teams from the East. Everybody else, 10 of the 15 All-NBA players those years came out of the Western Conference. So the East was already highly depleted and weakened. You have a first-team All-NBA, back-to-back seasons of first-team All-NBA Dwayne Wade. And if you want to go to the 2007 season, the two years prior, he finished 3rd in MVP, 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year as well. That's the level. Dwayne Wade was, for all intents and purposes, the 3rd best player at that point. Kobe was the best player at that time. LeBron, then Wade. So, look, if you want to leave LeBron, fine, so be it. How about go to New York? He was flirting with New York. He was playing footsies with them throughout that summer of free agency. Well, go there to that big media mecca. No one wants to go to Cleveland. I bet they'd want to go to New York and play in the Garden with the great LeBron James. So get on the wire, get at Amari Stoudemire and say, hey, yo, I'm coming. We're teaming up, and then we'll build a team the next couple years through free agency in this monster media mecca in New York. He didn't do that. He took the easiest possible, pitiful little way that he could come up with, which was go to the 3rd best player in the NBA at the time. Oh, and recruit a guy in Chris Bosh, who was a 20-10 career player at that point. At that point, through 7 seasons in his career, Chris Bosh was averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds per game. He had made 5 consecutive All-Star appearances. He had a 3rd-team All-NBA selection to his name a few years earlier. They pulled that guy in too. It was pathetic. It was a loser move. And that's when I stopped respecting LeBron, when he did that pitiful little loser move. And then, by the way, failed. He not only did he do that and amass that team, he didn't even succeed. I mean, how can anybody who watched that actually go down? You claim you're old enough to have watched Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How in the hell can you watch everything that went down in LeBron's career and think that he's even a top 5 player, let alone the greatest ever? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
You putting me to sleep with these long ass diatribes. Listen, first of all, going back to something that you just said, it didn't matter what team LeBron went to. He could have went to New York. It would have been a super team. He could have the other team he could have went to, and they would have just ran through the league. Was it been the Chicago Bulls? Had he joined the Chicago Bulls, they'd have ran through the league. He chose to go to play with his friends. So you don't get the right to tell him where he should go play. So to please your competition committee, you didn't have a problem with the competition committee when they put Kevin Garnett on the Celtics. You didn't say anything about that. You didn't complain about that. You sitting here talking about he failed against Dirk and all those guys. So did Kobe. You sat there and say, well, Kobe did good against the Celtics, well, or the Magic or whoever. Well, LeBron James had some of the greatest games ever played against those teams. The fact is, he didn't have the help that Kobe had. So when you look at what LeBron James had to deal with in Cleveland. He's never had any help in Cleveland. He's the reason why those teams went there. Not any of those role players and all that other stuff. It was LeBron James. All I'm hearing you say is he's a loser, he's a this, he's a that. It doesn't sound right. How is you calling him a loser when he's the one that's been playing for championships 10 times and all these other players haven't? You want to say, well, it was a weak East.
How many is
what was his record against? What was his record against the West? Did LeBron James lose against Western teams? Those same teams that should have been so strong and powerful? Weren't the Cleveland Cavaliers beating them as well?
In the finals.
Oh, that's because that was the very best team.
3-6. I'm sorry.
That was the very best team. The very best team. But as you say, he was just mopping up all the East. Wasn't he mopping up teams in the West too? Weren't the Cleveland Cavaliers mopping up teams in the West?
What are you talking about?
We're talking regular season.
In 07, they was mopping up everybody. They was beating teams in the East and they was beating teams in the West. So for him to sit there and say that the Cleveland Cavaliers weren't that, they didn't have nobody to go through, they were right where they were supposed to be by how they performed across the league. And they just happened to run into the best team in the league in the San Antonio Spurs.
Let me read my super chat. Salute to everybody. Make sure y'all smash the like button. We got over 1,100 people in here. Make sure y'all smash the like button with his content as well. Shout out to Eric Swears. He said, Ghost, you're really capping. You're really saying Ben isn't part of the core of the Pistons. You're pumping up for the 06 and 07. That's what Scap is saying.
80% of the team was there. You talking 80% of the starters were there. You talking about one guy that was missing. They brought in adequate replacements. They had Matt Dice, another guy they brought in. They had players there. So don't sit here and act like that LeBron James didn't do something incredible by beating that Detroit Pistons team.
No, he didn't. And can I ask you a question? Who was the head coach for the Detroit Pistons before 06 and 07?
It was either Rick Carlisle or was it Larry Brown?
Larry Brown.
It was Larry Brown. Larry Brown's one of the greatest coaches ever. Now, fast forward to the 06-07 Pistons, it wasn't Larry Brown coaching that team. And you're also missing the anchor on the defensive end. So that's not the same team, Ghost Town.
It's the same team. It's the core. I said the core.
No, it's
the core. The core players, 80% of those starters that won that championship are still there.
It's a difference between getting coached by a Larry Brown team and getting coached by somebody else that's nowhere.
Look, I mean, you come up with all the nuances and did you?
I got to make this point.
The matter is, it's the same core team.
Ghost Town talks about that great Spurs team, right? They're just awesome and great. Well, the very next year after LeBron James had that pathetic series and got swept, didn't Kobe Bryant beat that same team in 5 games? And it was easy work with a comparable roster. And Ghost Town just said that LeBron's a free agent.
No, it's not comparable. That's not true.
Mookie actually. We got to flow. We got to let other people talk. Right. Ghost Town said that when LeBron went to Miami in 2010, it's his right. He's a free agent, right? He can play with his friend. But Scott, this is the same guy over the last 2 weeks. He's been criticizing Klay Thompson for not going to the Lakers and saying that he's not built like that mentally, and he's not mentally strong because he chose the Dallas Mavericks over the Lakers. But Klay's a free agent, played his contract out. So you see the hypocrisy that we deal with on a day-to-day basis with this guy? I mean, it's beyond me, bro. I just can't take it. I can't take it.
Okay, let me address this Klay stuff because I thought it was quite funny that it's heart pumps Kool-Aid when it was time to come play for the Lakers. And all of a sudden, you're a scary little girl. The man, I'm going by his own words. He is the one that said he didn't want no part of that fish bubble that's known as this Golden State Warriors and the Lakers. And so he wanted a new, fresh start, or however he phrased it. Dude, that's scared to me. That all that says to me is you are afraid to fail in LA. That's what it means. You're mad because they didn't do you right in Golden State, and now you got a chance to go play with the Lakers and get back on that same big scene. But the LA fans will devour you if you don't show up. And he knew he ain't have it no more. So what he did was he just went scurried on off over to the Mavs and decided I'll ride their bench and then just go ahead and retire. That's what he did. He did us a favor. If you don't got that heart, if you're no longer the dog that we knew you once as, Klay, then you did us a favor. Move on, because we were going to devour you if you came to the Lakers and you shot 0 for 10 in a playoff game against anybody. We were going to devour you, and he knew it. So he moved on.
That's crazy.
No, it's the fact.
It's a fact. I'm not worried about that, man. I mean, hey, Scott, just real quick, if you don't mind, Mookie, one of the biggest meltdowns in sports history, not just NBA, but sports history, that 2011 finals. You had Magic Johnson, a Hall of Famer, quote on live TV, will LeBron James guard, Jason Terry, right? JJ Barrera, right? LeBron James had Jason Kidd posted on the block, couldn't even hit the rim, airballing, running from the moment, standing in the corner, hot potato, averaged 2 points in the fourth quarter for 4 straight games in the NBA Finals, had a pathetic 8 points in Game 4. I mean, how in the hell is a guy a top 5, let alone a top 10 player, when you have that type of moment on the biggest stage? It's not like they can double team you. I mean, D Wade and Chris Bosh spaces the floor out. So D Wade was able to break the zone, right? But LeBron James with a high basketball IQ can't bust a basic zone defense. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a great question. And I want to just go ahead and debunk the little myth that Ghost Town was talking about Kobe failing against the Mavericks. That year, the Lakers were going for a three-peat. They had won the 2 previous NBA championships. Kobe was playing through legitimate knee injury at that point, not this like phantom foot sprain thing that LeBron said he needed surgery on and never got last season. Kobe had surgical procedures done twice in the offseason following that season. He was playing on one leg in that series against the Dallas Mavericks, and he still scored roughly 25 points per game. He was the second leading scorer in the entire series behind only Dirk. I think Dirk averaged 26 and Kobe averaged 25, or Dirk was 25 and Kobe's 24. Pau Gasol averaged, I believe, 12 points on sub 40% shooting in that series. That was Kobe's big help in that Dallas Mavericks series. But go ahead and fast forward to those 2011 NBA Finals. You had LeBron James coming off of 2 league MVPs in a row. He was back-to-back league MVP going into those finals. He didn't win that year's, but the 2 previous ones. So he was in his 7th season. He's won 2 league MVPs already. He was the 5th leading scorer in that series. He was the 3rd leading scorer on his own team. Dwayne Wade led both teams in scoring, about 27 points per game on 55% shooting from the field. You had Chris Bosh chipping in 17 and 9. If you give Kobe on one leg, those guys that year, Kobe wins the NBA championship easily if he was getting that kind of supporting cast.
But instead, 7 years,
LeBron threw up all over himself with those 2 guys. They were up 2-1, by the way, in that series. And Dwayne Wade balling, Chris Bosh providing everything he needed. All of the role players were fine. To your earlier point about the role players failing LeBron, it was LeBron who failed the entire team. It's the biggest choke job in basketball history. You said he averaged 2 points per game in the fourth quarters for 4 straight games. Let me give you this one. In a series that was close, it was a 6-game series. They were up 2-1, and many of the fourth quarters were close. In the entire series, in clutch time, which is measured by 5 minutes or less, and within 5 points up or down, LeBron James scored a total in 6 games of 0 points. Zero total points scored. That LeBron James GOAT candidacy ended in 2011. For all intents and purposes. That's why I say you probably have your picture up because you're 18 years old. I don't know how you're telling me you watched Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play. Anyone who was alive and watching the 2011 NBA Finals could never have LeBron as the GOAT. He's invalidated.
Was that an insult you just
time.
threw? Was that an insult you just threw? Sitting up there looking like a full catfish.
He didn't insult you, Ghost.
Yeah, he did. Let's talk about your Kobe. Hold on. This dude trying to use an injury. Bro, we don't do no injury excuses over here. We don't do injury excuses over here. If that's the case, LeBron James wouldn't be 4-6. If we're going to use injury excuses, LeBron James wouldn't be 4-6 in the finals because Kyrie got injured and D Wade got injured too. So we don't use the injury excuse around here. And if you want to talk about 2011, there is no real debate there. LeBron James did not have his best series when he played the Dallas Mavericks. And I can't defend that. He didn't have a good series. But I will say that Spo couldn't coach at that time either. So you got 2 negatives going against the Heat at the time. So we're gonna chalk that up to just that's basketball. That's the way it is. That's the basketball.
Nah, that's not the way it is.
But dude, trust me, I've seen Kareem play. and I watched the GOAT pass the crown from one head to the next. I never saw him pass it to nobody else but LeBron James.
Because
what do you mean? What do you mean? Like he passed the crown? Like he put the crown on LeBron's head? Like what you mean by that?
Yeah. He was the GOAT, and then he gave it to LeBron.
How was he the GOAT over? Let me read this.
Man, ain't nobody. Jordan ain't never passed no LeBron, no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, only in people who wanted, only in people's eyes who wanted him to do it. That's who. You know he's not. He didn't pass him in points.
Kareem is nowhere near.
He didn't pass him in championships. He didn't pass him in MVP. What did he pass him in?
Kareem passed him. I mean, first of all, Jordan can sit there and say he's been the best player. Jordan can sit there and say he's been the best player on all championships that he's played in. Can Kareem say that?
Dude, that doesn't make him the best player. Just because you're the best player on your team at that time, when you're in your peak, when you're in your prime, you in your peak, when you're at your peak, and you're the best player, that don't mean nothing.
Listen, Ghost. Jordan's a better playoff performer than Kareem, right? And in the regular season, he's arguably better as well, right? And he's
okay. We're not having a Kareem Jordan debate.
My point, no.
Kareem
but you try to
better.
No. But you try to sit there and say that Jordan did surpass Kareem. Kareem won a championship. His last championship, bro, he won a championship with him averaging way below he had averaged in his prime. You can never sit there and say that they were still able to win the championship with Michael Jordan, right? Tailing off the end of his prime, and they were still able to win a championship despite him. That's why Kareem doesn't have a GOAT case over Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan can sit here and claim that he's been the best player on a championship team 6 out of 6 times. Kareem, no, it wasn't, because they were still able to win a championship despite of him being in his prime. That is not applicable to Michael Jordan.
Winning championships in the weak 90s, bro, it does not mean anything to me. Watered down weak 90s. Watered down weak 90s. You're the best player on the best team in the watered down weak 90s. That ain't going to elevate you over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by no way.
If the 90s is so weak, then tell me why Michael Jordan beat more 50 and 60 win teams relative to his era, bro, relative to competition, than LeBron James. If you look at Michael Jordan and the tough players that he played in that Eastern Conference, right, and compared to LeBron James, is night and day. Michael Jordan faced superior competition leading up to the NBA.
Man, them teams the Bulls won can't compare to none of the teams LeBron James faced in the finals. Those weak ass teams can't beat none of the teams LeBron James faced. Golden State Warriors. Are you kidding me? The East was watered down because it expanded. If you don't understand how expansion drafts watered down the league, then we're not going to have no 1 hour talk about how that happened.
He lost to this 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors. He didn't beat them.
That's my point. The reason why his record is not as good as all the others is because he played much stiffer competition. And like I said before, I don't respect none of the players that Michael Jordan was going against. Hornacek. Who was Hornacek and Craig Elo? These guys can't guard nobody. They can't guard a soul. Not one good player in this league.
And who is JJ Barea and Jason Terry? Who is JJ Barea and Jason Terry?
Again, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Those are the type of players he's going against. Kevin Durant.
And Jordan going against Magic, Charles Barkley.
Man, he played Magic one time.
You're talking about Clyde Drexler.
Before he got sick. He played Magic one time before he got sick. And then he started beating up on the likes of Gary Payton and Craig Elo. Jeff Hornacek.
I asked you this question. Name me a player that LeBron James beat in the finals that was equally as good as Magic Johnson.
Tim Duncan. Top 5 player. Top 5 player.
Tim Duncan not better than Magic.
Player. That's right. He's a top 5 player. So is Magic.
Tim Duncan is not better than Magic. But like I said,
you said just as good. Hold on. Top 5 player. Tim Duncan.
He didn't beat Tim Duncan in his prime. That's the thing. Michael Jordan beat Magic.
Man, bro, you're gonna keep moving the goalpost. He's got to be in his prime. It's got to be this. It's got to be in his prime.
Let me.
Magic was suffering from HIV. You think that's a prime athlete?
He was 1 year removed of winning the MVP.
He's suffering from HIV. Is that a prime athlete?
He was 1 year removed for winning the MVP.
You got a compromised immune system. You at your prime?
No, stop. He was in his prime. He's playing at an all NBA level. Go ahead, Scott.
In 91 when he beat Magic, Magic was 31 years old and finished second that season
with HIV.
MVP. And he had James Worthy still on that team, who was in his 20s.
Right.
A top 50 all-time player.
He had Scotty and he had Grant. He had clearly a more energetic athletic team.
Hold on. We got some
super act like Michael Jordan went out with the battle by himself. He had Scotty.
Ghost, hold on, bro. I'm trying to read my super chats, bro. Shout out to M4RL. He said Bronny is a 3-and-D guy who has made 0 threes so far. I mean, he doesn't space the floor out. His self-creation is not good. Can only go left, can't go right whatsoever. I mean, he's not a good shooter. He's probably a worse version of LeBron James in his early years with the Cavaliers.
Again, he's not featured, bro. He's not featured. He's taking whatever shot he
you don't feature trash. You don't feature trash.
Well, we clearly see what the Lakers G League team is trying to do.
Shout out to Aaron G. Hold on. Shout out to Aaron G. Ghost, why won't Bron sue Sonnen for the PED allegation? I want to talk about the PED allegation as well. I want to get Scap whole thoughts on the PED allegation of what Chael Sonnen had to sit there and say, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Chael Sonnen now. We heard earlier this year, Kevin Garnett went on record and basically just matter-of-factly said, oh yeah, he's on that juice. Like everybody knows that's the crazy thing about what Kevin Garnett said wasn't that he said it. It was the way he said it. Like that within the industry, basically everybody knows that he is and that he has been. And the super thanks commenter, that's a pretty damn good point though. Like if people were lying on your name, look, one of LeBron's perhaps his biggest feather in his cap is his longevity. I mean, obviously his peak is nowhere near the other elite players. And I'm not even just talking about Michael Jordan. When you look at team success and winning actual championships, he doesn't level up. The only thing that him and his supporters have is his longevity. So the PED allegations go directly to essentially completely refute and tear down that feather that he has in his cap, just rip it right out of his cap. And look, I'm not even saying suing somebody. If that was an outright lie, if someone is lying on him like that, wouldn't you come out with a declarative and a firm comment of any kind? Like come out and just declaratively say that is a complete lie. I have never used anything. He hasn't said anything. There hasn't been a single comment from him, from his representation, from his team, like literally nothing. LeBron, people have been swirling around him with these PED allegations for years, and he has never denied it in any way, shape, or form. A guy who is this active as we've seen him on his social media, like nothing, not even a little sentence tweet about it being untrue. What is going on with that? Seriously.
First of all, what are you talking about? He need to sue. Sue for what? What are you going to sue him for? You got to show some kind of damage. You got to show where you caused him some monetary damage to sue him for defamation. So what is he going to sue? Where did he get defamed? How is he getting defamed?
I'm not even talking about suing. I'm talking about, can he come out declaratively and deny? He has.
He's already said he's never cheated the game.
No, he didn't come out and address the allegation.
He said, why would he give him any kind of clout whatsoever and mention his name? Dude, I wouldn't even think about recognizing that.
I'm gonna give you a response. Because the same reason that LeBron James come out on Twitter and shut down these reporters that was spreading false information about him, the same that he come out there and address people that were lying about his name, he's done it before. So why a guy, Chael Sonnen, who's call out guys before on PEDs before, John Jones, Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborn as well, the top USC MMA fighters that he has accused of being on PEDs. So a guy, Chael Sonnen, who has around 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that is well respected within that MMA community, right?
No, he's not.
Why hasn't LeBron James came out there and addressed Chael Sonnen allegations?
Because he don't have to. Coming from one of his supporters, I don't expect him to, and I don't want him to.
Pipe down, Ghost Town. He has came out there and said that LeBron James was on those PEDs. He was on that stuff, right? Why would he sit there and put his whole risk of his platform and what he has done to make a financial living? Why would he put all of that online just to get sued? Just to sit there and lie? He has some truth to that. Why won't LeBron address those allegations?
As I said before, I'm not giving. If I'm LeBron James and his camp, don't give this clown no kind of attention whatsoever. Let him run around trying to clout chase on your name all he wants to. He'll slip up and make a mistake that he's gonna have to pay for. Don't worry about him. I wouldn't worry about him either. You don't go chasing after every little hater that open their mouth about you. You ain't got no haters. You're not popping, and we know LeBron James popping. So again, don't ignore him. You're doing the right thing. He ain't got. Nobody cares about Chael Sonnen. Only people that cares about Chael Sonnen is LeBron James haters. That's the only people that talk about him. Nobody else. He's a loser. He's going to continue to be a loser. He's always been a loser. He is the epitome of losing. So yeah, Bron, don't worry about this dude. Don't worry about this clown and none of these kind of stories. Who cares?
What about the biogenesis redacted federal documents that have indicated that LeBron James' personal trainer at his time when he was playing with the Miami Heat, which the biogenesis scandal broke in Miami, by the way.
Okay, has he
failed
the test? Has LeBron failed the test?
Hold on now. And they implicate LeBron James's personal trainer for those 4 years as being a supplier and having the PEDs distributed to him. Not only was he LeBron James's personal trainer, he was also LeBron James's wife's personal trainer at that point in time. Come on. I mean, there's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke out there. The least we can get is LeBron James to speak on it directly.
No, there is no smoke. There's some arsons out here. It ain't no smoke, but there's some arsons out here. The fact of the matter is you don't have one failed drug test. You don't have the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, or no other ABC letter program from the government saying that LeBron James did anything wrong, or the NBA. All you guys are doing is just talking. You got no proof. There is no proof. There is no story. You making a story, talking about this dude, this loser from wherever, the MMA. You're trying to make the story. There is no story here. If it was, he'd already been held accountable for by the NBA and all the other 3-letter agencies that we got in this country. Y'all just making up stuff.
What about KG? What about Tim Brady, the top 20 all-time player?
LeBron on that new juice on that balcony.
Hold on. What did KD say? Did KD say that LeBron James is on something?
Yes.
And he got the proof?
He said, bro, this is a teammate that played with him, Ghost. He said,
so where's KD's proof?
He said LeBron James on that balcony on that new juice.
Okay, where's the proof? First of all, you don't even need to do that no more. You got all kind of technology in the forms of cryotherapy that you can use to do restored.
Go sound. This is all the proof that you know, right? There is a guy that is the founder of Balco, right?
Don't believe it.
No. The founder of Balco, bro. He came out there on I think what's that guy name?
It's Victor Conte.
Victor Conte. What show he went on? I forgot this guy name. What's the guy's show that he went against, bro? I don't even know what show he went on against.
Jason Whitlock.
Jason Whitlock, yes, Jason Whitlock.
Lord.
He went on Jason Whitlock's show.
Gap was on there too before.
Yes, Gap. Yeah, he went on Jason Whitlock's show, right? And sat there and said that LeBron James. There's more truth that LeBron James been using those Balcos, and he's the Balco founder. The founder of Balco sat there and said that there's some truth on LeBron James using Balcos. He went on there live and sat there and said that, bro. That's all the proof that you know, bro. These allegations that have came out there and sat there and suggested LeBron James on that.
There's no proof to me. That's not proof. You're talking
the founder
about somebody do proof.
The founder
that's not
of
no
Balco goes.
Where's the failed drug test? That's proof. Let's get some DNA in a bottle and let's find some real proof. This talk. That's not no proof, bro.
The NBA tests once a year, and they pretty much pre-announce when the test is going to occur. Do you think the NBA wants to have the biggest steroid scandal of all time on their hands when their greatest King James is delegitimized for his entire career? Of course they don't. The NBA will do whatever they have to do to cover up any kind of evidence that might actually exist.
Oh, you mean like how they cook the books for Mike? Is that what you're talking about? Covering up stuff like that? Man, LeBron James ain't failed nothing. LeBron James got all kind of equipment in his house. He uses cryotherapy. If anybody ever uses cryotherapy, you know it works just as good as in the HG, whatever they call it, growth hormone. You can restore your body just like you never felt like you worked out in the first place. That kind of technology is available if you want to go spend money. All these losers out here who don't do it and complain that LeBron James is outperforming them, you the one, it's your fault. You're the reason that you don't put the work in to be like that dude. That dude is putting the work in. You're not doing it. Don't blame him.
If
all you're doing is showing your insecurities.
If he's putting the work in, wouldn't he want to come out and deny these allegations that he's
He did. He said, I don't cheat the game. How many times I got to tell you he said it? I don't cheat the game. I don't cheat this game. He said it over and over again. But you guys keep trying to come up with these stories and whatnot. That's why I said you're not really doing nothing but showing LeBron hate. These are narratives that you're creating. You have no proof. There's no stats there. You can't show me no numbers to show that this is what's happening. LeBron James, we know LeBron James work out though. We know LeBron James works out hard. He outworks everybody in the NBA. There is no, at 40 years old, show me the player that's outworking LeBron James now.
Where's your proof that LeBron James work hard? Where's your proof?
Man, come on, bro. LeBron James is working all the time. So you're saying that there's no proof that he's going to the gym and putting up the shots? I
don't know if he's injecting himself with needles. I don't know, bro. I just literally don't know.
Okay, so but you ready to say he's doing steroids, but you don't know that either. But
I don't. A guy that is close to the situation of PEDs and steroids and Balco and stuff like that, and Chelsea, who's been in this situation where he's took PEDs before, he's been busted before, right? I don't sit there and see that. Why would he sit there and lie? Why would
that's like a crackhead calling me, telling me you won't crack because he's using it. That don't mean nothing to me. No, bro, just because somebody say I'm a crack user and therefore he must be one too. What the hell is? Come on, bro. That don't make any sense.
Let me.
You gonna tell me that Chelsea is you credible because he takes some PEDs? Listen to yourself.
Because you've been around the situation of other people taking PEDs. That
Dude, you're not credible because you take PEDs. On somebody else's situation.
I'm sitting there saying that he's been around situations where he's busted multiple fighters on being on PEDs.
Oh my God. That doesn't mean he's not in LeBron James camp. Unless you show me
say that him and LeBron James
show up, he got evidence of some kind of film where somebody was sticking a needle up LeBron James with the steroids in him. Until he got that kind of proof, bro, he can't speak on nobody else's situation.
Let me read this. I'm gonna go with Mars. Shout out to Air Swear, super chat, salute to you. He said, didn't Ghost use the foot injury in the Denver series in the 2022-2023 season? And now he's saying that we're not using injuries as excuse. Facts. Ghost Town has been on this platform since it's been started. Lord. He sat there and said in the 2022-23 season that LeBron James, the reason why he played bad in that series is because he injured. He also sat there and said the reason why the Los Angeles Lakers missed the playoffs with 5 Hall of Famers on the team in the 21 to 22 season, bro. He said there and said they missed the playoffs.
The fact is, look, what I'm saying is this. Hold on. We take our L. You guys don't want to take the L's. When Kobe failed, you want to see him use an excuse for the L. LeBron was hurt and he took the L. We accept our L. You're trying to sit here and say, well, the only reason Kobe lost because he was injured. No, he was probably going to get his ass whooped anyway. The fact of the matter was he lost, and you tried to sit there and make it seem like LeBron James failed so miserably against Dallas. Well, how about the same dude who was went 3 times in a row? They got their butt smoked. But you want to say, but it was the injury. It was the injury. Man, I don't want to hear that. We don't use injuries around here. If that's the case, LeBron James should probably be 6-4 if it wasn't for injury. I don't want to hear that.
Here's the thing.
Run that up somebody else's tree. It ain't going to work over here.
You try to equate Kobe's losing that season to LeBron's losing that season. It's not the same. Let's even take out the factoring of the injury or non-injury, whatever. Pau Gasol, Kobe's second best player, was averaging 12 points per game on like 42% shooting in that series. When LeBron James had Dwayne Wade leading the series in scoring on 55% and Chris Bosh going 17-9. It's not the same. Give Kobe those two guys that same year on one leg and Kobe wins the NBA championship. That's point one. Point two is I'm not saying Kobe hasn't failed. I'm not saying Jordan hasn't failed. Every player in sports history fails. The thing is here, when we're measuring greatness and trying to stack overall hierarchical levels of like GOAT debates, I look for guys that succeeded many more times than they failed. I look for guys that came back and made up for their failures. But with LeBron James, his failures overwhelmingly cover up the successes that he's had throughout his career, at least as far as I'm concerned. And look, LeBron, he doesn't even come back and answer his losses. He instead just jumps from city to city and stacks some other super team to try to come back and steal some cheap, trashy ring. That's not coming back and overcoming failures and obstacles. So I'm not trying to say Kobe didn't fail. Of course he did, but he has far more successes than he does failures. LeBron, however, does not. He doesn't.
We're going to play the hypothetical game, bro. Give LeBron James Shaq.
Let me read this another super chat, and then we're going to let Maz go ahead. Oh, you gonna go? We trying to make this flow as possible, man. Suits everybody. Been a great show so far. Shout out to Aaron G. He said Bron fans don't want Bron to address the PED allegation because he will be guilty, and the sad part is they will be okay with it. Pathetic. Let me go with. I
forgot what I was going to say. We were talking about Kobe and somebody. You
go
said
ahead,
something about Kobe failing.
Yeah,
and all
I
that.
wanted to highlight Kobe's 2 finals and the difference between the mindset and the attitude and the self-awareness and the accountability standpoint. In 2004, Kobe's on record saying that it's on me, it's my fault. Detroit did a great job at extending our offense, and I could have done a better job at getting us into our sets from a schematic and technical basketball standpoint. Kobe has said that on numerous occasions. And so that's him, saying it's on me. He didn't blame Derek. He didn't blame Karl Malone's knee injury, right? He didn't blame those guys, right? He said it's on me. And then in 2008, when he lost to the Boston Celtics, after that game 6, when he was in tears, because he cares, right? LeBron would never cry after a loss. He can care less. He'll say, go back to your old lives, and I'm going to go get what it is, right? But Scap, in 2008, Jim Gray has a mic in Kobe's face, and he's in that moment, right? And Jim Gray talks about, no Andrew Bynum, no Trevor Ariza. He's trying to give Kobe an out, right? And say, well, you guys lost, but you didn't have your 2 other players. And Jim Gray says this. He says, Kobe, what will you do to get back to this point next year? And Kobe looks and he says, I'm going to get back in the gym. And here's my best part. He says, I'm going to work my ass off until exhaustion, meaning I'm back at it. I got to get better. I got to get Powell tougher, right? We didn't lose because they're just better than us. We lost because Powell wasn't tough enough, and I wasn't a good leader, and I couldn't bring my guys along with me. And so you can see the drastic difference in between the mindset and the ownership. Because, listen, it's a make-or-miss league. You're going to lose. It is what it is. But I respect athletes who take it and say, you know what, on to the next, and I'm going to stay put. I'm going to stay here in LA. I'm going to get Derek Better. I'm going to get Shannon Brown, Sasha Vujacic, who hit 2 big free throws versus Boston in 2010. Nobody talks about this, right? It's moments like that where leadership counts. Kobe didn't go run somewhere else, right? He stayed, got his teammates better. And in 2010, what happened? He broke through and won another championship. But go with Scott.
Yeah, first of all, Kobe was trying to run from LA. And he tried to, and the fact of the matter was, the Lakers tried to send him off over there to LeBron James. They tried to trade Kobe for LeBron James, and Cleveland hung the phone up on him. Damn, they broke the receiver doing it. The fact that y'all sit here and talk about what Kobe had and what Kobe would do and this and that. Kobe had Shaq, bro. You give LeBron James Shaq 7 years of his career, you got 7 in a row, 7 championships as a 19-year-old in the league. That's how good LeBron James is. LeBron James ain't coming off nobody bench for no 2 or 3 years. There ain't a team that in this league that LeBron James would ever have come off the bench when he got drafted. You pick the team, he'd have been starting. I don't care what it was and where it was, who it was. Then you want to sit here. I mean, the thing about talking about Kobe's leadership, man, I don't watch Kobe quit on the court. And I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to make this about no Kobe or LeBron or nothing like that. But don't sit here and act like Kobe didn't just quit on the court in front of everybody. But you want to tell me about his leadership, how he'll get his players better. Bro, telling somebody to trade me, and when they was gonna do it, the other team hung the phone up on you. That ain't no leadership there. I don't understand you. And it was something else the other guy said. I lost my frame of thought because you came in and jumped in, but I'm sure it has to do something about Kobe and those injuries. But the fact of the matter is, LeBron James' teams broke down on him twice in the finals. And you want to talk about winning? Winning is giving yourself a chance to win a championship, not getting knocked out in the first round, getting swept 3-4 times in the first round, or not making to the playoffs at all in your prime, like Kobe was. So I don't want to hear nothing about he don't win. Dude, you don't get to 10 finals if you're not a winner. And you cannot help the other teammates' health. If they get hurt, they get hurt. You just got to keep on grinding, bro. And that's what LeBron James has always done. Kept on grinding.
I want to address the Shaq nonsense real quick. Look, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant went to 4 finals appearances together. During those 4 playoff runs, which span 80 games, Kobe Bryant averaged 1 fewer point per game than Shaq in those 4 playoff runs. That was while Kobe was first or second team All-NBA defense all 4 seasons. That was while Kobe led the NBA playoffs for the three-peat in clutch scoring in the fourth quarters of those playoffs. Not just led the Lakers in clutch scoring, led the entire postseason in clutch scoring. So he was the singular closer. He was an all-caliber defender. He was the leading assist player on that team, the lead facilitator. And here's the big thing. Kobe could make shots from the outside. So when we saw LeBron at 24 years old, I believe it was in 2007, when he absolutely got smothered and destroyed by the San Antonio Spurs, 4-0 in that series. It was because the Spurs packed everything in on him and they forced him to make outside shots, and he couldn't do it. That's why he needed to surround himself with shooters, with better players to space the court and give him more driving lanes. Guess what the Lakers with Shaq didn't have? Space to operate underneath, because Shaq was clogging up the middle, and it was a different time as well. There weren't such things as like spacing three-point shooters and stuff at that time. So guess what? LeBron, you're saying Kobe won 3 championships by 23. He was 21, 22, and 23 when he won those championships. We saw LeBron playing the Spurs at 24 and absolutely couldn't get it done, couldn't remotely get it done, because he couldn't make any semblance of an outside shot. Not to mention, he is not a closer. We still see it through year 21, he can't close. Kobe Bryant was closing at 21 years old and making those outside shots. How many rings would Shaq and LeBron have won when LeBron was 18 to 24? 0, my guy. Not a single one. Kobe Bryant won those 3 because of things LeBron
Kobe was
James
not better than Shaq. He was not better than Shaq.
LeBron James is still incapable of doing to this day. Kobe Bryant
was,
at 21 was more clutch than LeBron in his prime.
You're
so
capping, bro. Kobe was not better than Shaq. Shaq won 3
about
MVPs.
Shaq and LeBron winning 7 championships together. It's a pathetic take. It's honestly, that is the worst, most dreadfully pathetic loser-like take I've ever heard in my entire life of being around basketball and seeing basketball.
Well,
the Shaq carried Kobe narrative, even that is as pathetic as anything. But the LeBron would have won 7 straight rings with Shaq is even worse. It's trash, my guy. I want to address that super, by the way.
You just sat here and tried to convince us
that we saw
was better than Shaq. What you just did.
Let me finish.
Hold on now, because you ain't gonna shut up no way.
Let me finish my point here real quick, and I'll turn it back over to you. Cooking someone isn't rejecting the facts and talking straight lies out of your ass. Okay, that's not cooking someone. Cooking someone is developing some kind of a statistical analysis or showing them facts and them not being able to answer. I've been able to answer every single thing that you've thrown our way today here. You continue to hide and run from every single fact that we throw yours. So go ahead.
Well, you didn't answer no facts here. Or you sat here and just tried to convince us that Kobe was better than Shaq when Shaq pulled in 3 MVPs. You want me to believe that the NBA and all the viewers got it wrong when we saw Shaq carrying the Lakers, or the most dominant player on the floor. That's what you want us to believe. So if you're telling me that Shaq is unless you're telling me Shaq wasn't the most dominant player on the floor, which he was, Shaq was the most dominant player on the floor. You put beside him a playmaker, athlete, dominant athlete like LeBron James. Kobe ain't no dominant athlete. He ain't dominating nobody. That's why he pump faking all the time, because he can't get his shot off anytime he want to get it off. But LeBron James can. So you telling me you put a dominant player like LeBron James next to another dominant player who they changed the rules for, by the way. They ain't changed them for Kobe. They changed them for Shaq. Is that a fact? So they changed the rules for Shaq. They brought in the zones to stop Shaq, not Kobe. But you want to tell me that you take another most dominant player that we've ever seen come in at 19 years old, this young, doing the things that he's doing, and you're going to tell me he's not going to win 7 in a row and he never gets hurt? Man, you crazy. You ain't gonna fool nobody with that nonsense. I don't care how much lawyers speak and Skip Bayless speak you got coming out your mouth. You sound like a full fool trying to convince us that Kobe Bryant was better than Shaq. And take that, deal with it.
Shaquille O'Neal, my guy. Hold on, Shaquille O'Neal, and you can go to my channel. You don't have to go to my channel. You can go anywhere. Go Google it or YouTube it. Shaquille O'Neal, who played with Kobe Bryant for 8 years, also played with LeBron James when LeBron James won league MVP one season. So Shaquille O'Neal got a very good look at both players in their primes, and Shaquille O'Neal to this day, this is his take on the GOAT. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Kobe Bryant is the only one close to him. And is anyone close to Kobe? Not really. That is a direct quote from Shaquille O'Neal to this day. He's played with both in their prime. He's a paid basketball analyst to this day who has watched LeBron's entire career, and he has, don't listen to me. Don't take my word for it. Take his. He's got Kobe.
I don't take Shaq's word for it.
I want to.
No, and neither do I take yours.
Hold on, go. I want to salute the Tommy Sotomayor. Salute to you, man, for pulling up, man.
What up, bro?
What's your whole thoughts on this, man?
I wanted to say about what the brother just said beside you when he said, "Oh, you can listen to what Shaq said." First off, you can't take Shaq what he's saying because at one point Shaq was very critical of this man, and it's easy for Shaq to, now that he's dead, talk very glowingly of him, and that's what he's done a lot of. Like, he's forgotten a lot of the stuff that they had. Both of them have. They passed it up before they died, or before he died. But the brother just gave y'all a very good argument. And I'm not a LeBron James fan. One, I think Michael Jordan's the greatest to ever play the game, period. But for as much shit as I talk about LeBron James, he kind of won me over with what that guy just said, which was, in all the years and all the teams he's played with, he hasn't had any teams that didn't make the playoffs or teams that got kicked out in the first. Like, that didn't happen. It didn't matter who he was playing with. And he's had some shitty teams. He had Shaq when he was 100. Shaq,
he's 37.
You know what I mean? He
was 37. He was an all-star the year before and third-team All-NBA.
Man, Shaq was tripping over the line.
Hey, I had less gray hair last year. Now I need more just for men.
He had Antoine Jameson as well, who was averaging 20 points per game and 8 rebounds per game at the All-Star break when they traded for him that year.
The point is, none of these people have just been difference makers like that. And I'm telling you.
Hey, Tommy,
LeBron
you said LeBron has never missed the playoffs, or
his first 2 seasons he missed it.
First 2 seasons he missed the playoffs. Plus he missed it in 2019 as well. Plus he also got put out the first round in the years in the 21 playoffs as well, right? And got put out the first round this playoffs as well. So
21.
Yeah, 21 when he lost.
When he was healthy in his prime, he has not been out. Yeah. When he was healthy in his prime,
how many times has Kobe not made the playoffs at all?
I think once or twice.
Once or twice.
In his prime.
Playoffs his last 2 seasons.
And he never made the playoffs after they
played
back.
6 games. One of those. He played.
You mean like when he was hurt?
Games in 6 games.
That's the point.
3 seasons.
The point is, a prime LeBron is not hurt. He ain't missing nothing. That's our. The point is, when LeBron is healthy, look. When LeBron is healthy, which he wasn't in 2019, that's why he didn't make it, Mook, and you know that. He's going to make the playoffs, and he's going to make a difference. He is the difference. Why y'all sitting there trying to act like LeBron? But that's what I don't understand. Go, Tom. I'm gonna let you go, Tommy. But this is the thing I don't understand. You're willing to contextualize on why LeBron James is missing the playoffs in 2018, 2019 when you still technically in his prime. But when Scap tried to tell you why Kobe was getting beat by Dallas, you sat there and said you don't want to use the injury excuse. So which one is it? This is why you're double talking. You can't sit there and say for one and for LeBron, I'm going to contextualize the reason why he's coming up short and the reason why he's missing the playoffs. But then the other thing, what Scap doing is the other thing, and he's contextualizing why Kobe got put out, right? You don't sit there and come to that realization.
I knew Kobe.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. Listen, I knew Kobe wasn't as good as y'all say he is when he had the #1 draft pick overall and he never won a championship. This man had Kwame Brown on his team and he couldn't win a championship. You know. What are you talking about? He had one of the greatest centers of all time. A #1.
Oh man, you nasty, man. You're nasty, bro. You're nasty.
Yeah, I didn't laugh at that corny joke. I mean, that was kind of corny.
Oh man, you went low on that one.
But
corny joke. Your face was kind of corny. Everybody else.
But Tommy, bro, when you talk about LeBron James making the playoffs and not doing this or that, I mean, is that your only measuring stick? I mean, isn't basketball more than that?
I was just saying I liked his argument. I said his
okay.
His argument.
So do you got LeBron
why can't
James?
Kobe make it 10 times? Why didn't Kobe go to the finals 10 times then?
Because he couldn't go. Western Conference.
Hold on, and we know we know the first 3 or the first 7 years of his career, he was spotted Shaq. But after that, how come he couldn't keep going back, bro? The fact that he ain't LeBron. LeBron James it's only one LeBron James that can make a difference like this. It's only one player that makes a difference like this. Even Michael Jordan don't make a difference like this. I'd have told you, without Scottie Pippen, Jordan got one playoff win in his entire carear. One.
Hold on. What does LeBron have without Dwayne? A pairing of Dwayne Wade and
please don't try that shit.
A pairing
you
of
ain't gonna sit here and try to give me the whole goddamn league. Talking about who
what does LeBron have?
You gonna run down the whole league? You gonna tell me what LeBron didn't have such and such and this and this and this and that?
I gotta ask you one thing.
His career is not tied to one individual player. You trying to tell me that LeBron James need one individual player? Well, I'm telling you, look, Michael Jordan needed that player. He don't got no Scottie. He ain't got no rings. It's that simple. Because Scottie did all the heavy lifting. Scottie did all the defense. Scottie did all the rebounding. Scottie did all the passing. It was Scottie. That's who it was. All Michael Jordan had to do was chuck up a lot of shots, and that's what he did. But LeBron James, he had to run up and down the court, making all the passes, making all the shots, making all the rebounds. Shit. Telling the coach what to do. He out there telling the coaches what to do. And now you want me to sit here and believe that all these other men, please, we seen the greatest. We know who the greatest is. You can hate all you want to. But the fact of the matter is, I know what I saw.
Well, go sell. I'm just responding to that because you trying to be nasty talking about he got one playoff win without Scottie Pippen. We can flip that on you, bro.
That's a fact.
What did LeBron James do without Larry Hughes? Before Larry Before Larry Hughes touchdown in Cleveland, LeBron James was missing the playoffs back-to-back years. He couldn't even make the playoffs without Larry Hughes, right? Soon as Larry Hughes touchdown, they went to the second round and they went to the finals. Soon as Larry Hughes left, they even went back to the NBA Finals. So you trying to sit there and say that Michael Jordan's success all revolves around Scottie because he only had one playoff win. When you don't contextualize it, talk about that, hey, yeah, he was going against the bad boy Pistons. He was going against one of the greatest Celtics teams of all time. He was going against the Milwaukee Bucks as well. If you're not willing to contextualize that, we can then flip the nastiness on you and sit there and say LeBron James wasn't even make the playoffs before Larry Hughes, bro. Go ahead,
man.
Tom.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
is there an attack of lunacy in the building?
Hold on, Ghost. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm just saying that's kind of horrible what you said. It's a bad take to say that somebody can't win without this other person when they were tied together. That's like saying Larry Bird couldn't win without Kevin McHale. Like sometimes you say things like that. They're tied together. You could have stuck Michael Jordan on down there any one of the teams that were big back then, and they would have went over the hump. He literally would have been their missing piece on several teams. When you make that argument, you make the rest of it sound disingenuous. When we're talking about LeBron James, there's a bunch of stuff involved. Again, I've never liked LeBron James, but he's one of those people that won me over. The Kobe Bryant argument, I think, is more sentimental than anything else. When people say Kobe Bryant was one of the top 3 players, no, he wasn't. He was really good. He was not one of the top 3 players of all time. And now that he died, everybody want to shove him up there. But they keep on forgetting that when Shaq left, he had a hard time. He had to go and get players. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having to get good players around you. But let's not make it to where you are the only person that's doing the job. That's not fair.
So I'm going to say this. We did see Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
Hold on, Ghost. Let other people got to go. Go ahead, Ghost.
I want to address that. Kobe Bryant was in a Western Conference that was absolutely stacked from the start to the finish of his career. He had Tim Duncan. He overlapped Tim Duncan the whole time, but there were other great teams in that Western Conference. The Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming Rockets, the Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash Suns, the Dirk Nowitzki perennial 60-win Mavericks. Like that Western Conference was absolutely loaded. Kobe Bryant's team was absolute filth after Shaquille O'Neal left. He had Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Chris Mihm. Hold on, let me finish this point. These are the players he had. They were so bad. Going into the 07-08 season, the Lakers were the 16th odds-on favorite to get to win the championship that year. 16th in 07-08, the year they traded for Pau Gasol at the trade deadline. Really, that's the only significant, substantial difference they made on those teams that were garbagey post when Shaq left. They added Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol at the time, you say he went out and got players. Pau Gasol at the time that they acquired him was in his 7th NBA season. He had made 1 career All-Star in 7 seasons. He had never made an All-NBA team. He had never won a playoff game. That's who Kobe was getting, a one-time All-Star in the seventh year. Chris Bosh, at the time he went to join the Miami Heat in his seventh season. Hold on. Chris Bosh in his seventh season when he went to join LeBron James in Miami had made 5 straight All-Star games and had a third-team All-NBA selection in his past. That was LeBron's third option. The second guy was Dwayne Wade, who is a top 5 positional player all time, arguably the third best 2-guard ever. That was the team that LeBron needed to win his first 2 championships. Then he goes into Cleveland, and people are going to mitigate what Kevin Love was at the time. Kevin Love at the time was in his 6th NBA season. He was coming off of a 20 point per game, 20, 11, and 26 points per game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists season. He was top 3 in BPM, VORP, win shares, and PER. He was second team All-NBA that year for a second time in his career. That was LeBron's third option on his Cleveland team that he won his next championship, his third championship. And then finally, his 4th and final ring came with Anthony Davis, who was a top 5 player in the NBA that year. And if you think I'm lying, he was first team All-NBA, first team All-NBA defense. He finished 5th in MVP voting and 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Those are LeBron's 4 rings. Kobe Bryant went to 3 consecutive championships, won back-to-back, playing 50-win opponents at every level with Pau Gasol as his only other viable player. That is why Kobe Bryant is above LeBron, to me, because LeBron never won a challenging championship. Never. You can say he went to 10 straight. Don't care. What has he won? 4, and they weren't challenging. Kobe won 2, in my estimation, the hardest consecutive championship winning run in league history. For that reason, Kobe will forever be above LeBron James in my book.
Also, too, Scott, before
Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum.
He had a well-balanced team, bro. Get out of here talking about it.
You make your point and let me follow up. Make your point and I'll follow up.
No, I'm asking, was Lamar Odom not a good player at that time?
Lamar Odom played in 16 NBA seasons. He never made a single All-Star appearance. Not one.
He's a good role player.
Not ever.
He's a good role player.
Well, thank you.
Okay, Derek Fisher was their starting point guard. He's the only accolade Derek Fisher has in 20 seasons. He finished 16th in 6th Man of the Year voting one year. That's it.
Trevor Ariza was considered a shutdown defender. Literally, he kept going from Houston to, like, if you would bring in Trevor Ariza on your team when you needed a shutdown defender. He was a championship quality defender. True or false?
Never made an All-Star. Never made an All-NBA defense.
What brought him in for? Is that
you don't need that. You need good role players.
But he's not the caliber of players that LeBron had in all of his championships.
Trevor was not shut down, and LeBron James had Shane Battier.
What he's talking about? I'm gonna see.
Hold on. Let me. Let's get a little water break right here. Let's go read these super chats, man. They a lot of them coming. Shout out to Will Lloyd, $5 super chat. He said, name 3 players who's better than Kobe at footwork, defense, inside scoring, passing, B-ball IQ, and handle.
There aren't.
I mean, Michael. I mean, that's it. I mean, he stands alone, basically. But can we put a context gap on the 2010 decade? From 2000 to 2010, Kobe, 5 championships, led the decade in scoring, right? All defensive player. Beat more 50-win teams in the decade, more than Tim Duncan. He had 2 different varies of three-peats. He won 1 and he got to 3 straight, but then only won 2 of the next 3. I'm not sure there's been more of a dominant decade other than MJ in the 90s compared to what Kobe did in the 2000s. I mean, that's dominance. I mean, I don't think losing to Dallas, getting swept twice, beat by a record margin, getting swept again, getting beat by 5 games by the Warriors, that's not dominance. I mean, why are we praising getting to the finals and losing? Now, if you tell me that Trevor Ariza is a good player, cool, I'll give you that. I mean, I'm a Rockets fan. I'll give you Shane Battier. I mean, they're the same player, right? They both hit corner threes and they both play defense. I mean, whatever role player
that's all I was saying that he did.
No, I'm saying whatever role player that you guys want to give us, on the 08 to 010 Lakers, I can give you a player on the Miami Heat that LeBron James had. I mean, Kobe did it with a very good Pau Gasol, a player, Scap, who had 0 wins in the postseason. He was a losing player. He had one good season under Mike Brown where they won 50 games, and Mike was the coach of the year. Other than that, Pau Gasol was just a good player on a mediocre team. I mean, Kobe Bryant made Pau better, right? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, from 2000 to 2010, I mean, name me a decade or a 10-year stretch where LeBron James did that. Has LeBron James ever led the decade in scoring?
To your point,
different type player, bro. Different type player. Different type player.
Before Scap follow up, we got another super chat. Ajay Moore is $5 super chat. He said, "Why is Ghost Town acting like LeBron wasn't on all these super teams and all those finals appearances in the weak East?"
I'm not. He is everywhere he go. He make a super team. He show up, it's super all of a sudden. It's LeBron James. That's the super person there. We're not talking about that by nobody else. It's when LeBron shows up, his team all of a sudden becomes super. And it's a reason why, because he the GOAT. That's the reason why y'all keep talking about super teams. If he wasn't that good, you wouldn't be calling him. You wouldn't be saying it's a super team.
So Scap, so why wasn't the 09 or 010 Caps who won 60 plus games?
Hold on. You just went for like 15 minutes. And to address your point where you said, what did he like? Kobe picked up Powell. Well, it was LeBron James that made Kyrie a winner. The same way Kobe helped Powell. Well, that's what LeBron James did for Kyrie. Kyrie wasn't nobody before LeBron showed up.
Kyrie made LeBron a winner in my eyes.
Yeah, whatever. Well, we ain't seen him win none of this year. With the player, you said that's better than LeBron. You said that Luka better than LeBron. Well, why couldn't Luka take Kyrie to a championship? Why?
He took him to the finals.
No, but LeBron took him to the
finals. Y'all just argued against finals just a second ago.
Hold on, let me get this clear, right? Bron Sex will sit there and say that, hey, they praise LeBron James 10 straight appearances to the finals, right? They sat there saying no other player can do that. What LeBron James can do 8 straight appearances to the finals, right? They sat there on the same breath to sit there and say that Scottie Pippen making it to the second round, that discredit Michael Jordan legacy because he can still get to the second round without Michael Jordan. But then at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving got to the finals without LeBron. So the way that y'all discredit Michael Jordan legacy for sitting there and saying that, oh, Scottie Pippen got to the second round without Michael Jordan, then do the same thing with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got to the finals without LeBron James. Right down. The same finals appearance that y'all sit there and pop up LeBron James for sitting there saying that he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Okay, let me take that one. First of all, it ain't even close to the same situation. It's not the same situation because when Mike left the team, it was only him. We just subtracted Mike. All you did was took Mike away and you let Scottie take him as far as they can take him. And he took him to a semifinal. It's not the same thing. When we talk about LeBron James and Kyrie, if you take Kyrie, when LeBron was not with Kyrie, what did he do? No Kyrie, no LeBron. It was just Kyrie by himself. What did he do? He went nowhere. He had to go get a Luka or something like that on a totally different team. It wasn't no just subtract LeBron and let's see what Kyrie do. Because we saw that. When you put Kyrie Irving over there with the Celtics, what did they do? They failed drastically. And he had a really good team, and he failed drastically. Hell, as a matter of fact, they were so good, they did better without Kyrie.
You're not putting context to it.
No, you didn't put the right context to it.
No. The reason why you're not putting context to it, because number one, Kyrie Irving got hurt. And when he got hurt, the Celtics were like a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. So
they were better without him.
Kyrie Irving still had them at a number 1 to top 2 seed in that respective conference. And you can sit there and make an argument if Kyrie Irving is healthy in that series against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round is in the conference finals as well, they would have beat LeBron James.
Can't make that argument.
So my point is sitting there and saying this is that it's a lot of confusion. But Scap, your point about the whole Kobe thing. Go ahead, Scap.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on this. So because there were some good points made. From 2000 to 2010, Kobe Bryant led the NBA decade in scoring and in point per game average. So total points and points per game. There's only been two decades before that has done that. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 70s and Kobe in the 2000s. That's it. Like Jordan didn't even do it because he didn't play enough of the games, because he retired twice throughout the 90s. So Jordan, along with Kareem, and then if you want to go back pre-merger, Wilt did it as well. So 3 total if we're going back into Wilt's day before the ABA NBA merger. So that's it. Wilt, Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kobe Bryant. So Kobe led the 2000 to 2010 decade in scoring and points per game while making 9 All-NBA defensive teams during that decade. He's one of the 3 greatest scorers ever, and he's also, has 10 plus All-NBA defensive team selections. He has 12 total NBA defensive team selections. So, I mean, there really isn't as good of more of a complete total, like full court package than Kobe Bryant, probably other than Michael Jordan. And he went to 7 championships and won 5 of them. And he's the only player in NBA history, the only one that won back-to-back championships without a single other teammate that's a top 75 all-time player. So to say that he's not top 3 or that it's some outlandish take that is only in revisionism after he died, that is an absolute ridiculous comment to make. Kobe
Well, give
Bryant,
me your top 3 then. I would love to hear your top 3 so I can know what I'm arguing against.
Exactly.
We don't even have to expand to 3. I'll go with Kobe at 2. I'll put Kobe above everybody else all time but Michael Jordan.
Who's 3?
I think for me, if I'm looking at overall resumes, because people like to talk resumes with LeBron, I would probably put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 3.
Oh no, matter of fact, I want to hear your top 10. I just want to hear your top 10.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just love to hear these people.
Yeah, so I want to hear your top 10. We want to hear your top 10.
All right. Well, other than my top 3, because people have been asking for this.
Yeah, just say it over from 1 to 2 to 3. Yeah.
Okay, so my top 3.
He knows people gonna get mad. I like that.
Come on.
My top 3, I'm going to say, are in definitive order, and then after that, we could kind of discuss the order. But I've got Jordan 1, Kobe 2, Kareem 3. I will slide in Magic and Bird, who are kind of interchangeable to me, at 4 or 5. I'll put Duncan in there as well. And to me, definitively, those players go above LeBron, by the way. Then in my next tier, we've got Wilt Chamberlain. And I will begrudgingly put LeBron James in my top 10, but to me, he's down. This is going to come across bad for people that follow me. They think I probably don't have LeBron in my top 10. He is, but he's down more towards the bottom with Hakeem Olajuwon slides in my top 10 as well.
You have Wilt ahead of LeBron.
Not even 10. That's not 10.
Wilt, we can argue Wilt.
That's
no,
not
but
10.
what's your argument for Wilt? I mean, if you're talking resume, hold on.
Sorry, Bill Russell's in my top 10.
You say you value winning and impact on this shit, and Wilt is 2-4 in the finals. That's the worst finals winning percentage than LeBron. Right. And you said resume. Right. You said the resume for Kareem at number 3. Wilt does have a better resume unless you're just gonna recite the record book. He doesn't have more championships than LeBron. His career wasn't as long as LeBron, as effective. So what is your argument for Wilt over LeBron?
So here's the take. First of all, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar does have a better resume. I don't necessarily care about resumes. LeBron has a great resume. It's not better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's.
I never said it was. I was just talking about Wilt.
Kareem's top 3 in 3 standard box score metrics.
I'm not talking about Kareem.
Okay. So for Wilt, look, Wilt and LeBron are the only 2 losers that I have in my top 10. But the overall breadth of their career, despite the fact that they are losers, I believe warrant them in top 10 consideration.
Larry Bird has 3 championships. LeBron has 4.
I don't finish.
He finished
already.
He played like 11.
He won more.
21.
He won more.
Anyway, hold on.
He won more.
Let me finish the point on Wilt. If we're basically not looking at winning, which is a big criteria for me, and one of the major things that I personally value is your ability to win championships. But if we're not looking at that, because that's the case that we have to make LeBron's case, is don't look at winning, don't value winning. So if we're not,
you can value winning. He has 4 titles.
If I'm looking at who is the most dominant non-winner, in my estimation, Wilt Chamberlain was more individually dominant than LeBron James. So I hold Wilt over LeBron, even though neither could win. Both were losers in my book, but Wilt was a more dominant loser in my estimation than LeBron.
How is LeBron not a winner He has more championships than Larry Bird. He has just as many as Shaq. He has twice as many as Wilt. He only has one less than Duncan and Kobe. And you're trying to that one championship separates him as a loser compared to a winner.
How is he not a winner? He's played 20 of his 21 seasons with remarkable consistency and health. He has jumped systematically from team to team since he was 26 years old to establish and fortify the best opportunity he possibly can have. He has systematically maximized his potential and ability into winning multiple amounts of championships from 26, and he only has 4. Like LeBron, like he should have 8. With the way that he's established his career and jumped from team to team and the players that he's built around him. That's why he's a loser. There's no begrudging 4 champions. Look, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Now, I can agree with him on that.
Hakeem
I can agree with
Olajuwon.
him 100% on that. Because if you think about it, that's the reason why KD said, well, I can't stay here, because if I stay here, it's almost like when he was in Golden State. Well, if I stay here, do I really get any credit for this?
Mm-hmm.
And you do, and you don't, because they were winning before you got there. And LeBron James kept putting himself in the best positions. He did.
But that's what you value, though.
And that's
if you said hold on. If you value if his main criteria is winning, then your standard as a proxy is incentivizing him to get the best supporting cast possible. And on top of that, there's nobody he ever played with on the level of Shaq, prime Shaq. Nobody comes close to prime Shaq. Nobody comes close to Kareem. Nobody comes close to who did So Magic played almost his entire prime, every championship with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All these dudes got a superstar in the first 7 years of their career. Tim Duncan got lucky because he missed like 60. Because Duncan, what's his name? Dave Robinson missed like the whole season, so he lucked into getting drafted by the Spurs and played with David Robinson towards the end of his prime as a rookie. Magic got drafted with Kareem on the team. Kobe got drafted with Kareem on the team. Larry Bird got McHale in his first 7 seasons. You're talking about LeBron getting Mo Williams or an overrated Ilgauskas his first 7 years. At the same time, hold on. And these teams, by the way, this stacked team. Hold on, the stacked team that LeBron has. Do you know from 2015 to 2017 that stacked team LeBron had went 4-23 when he wasn't on the floor? That team literally cannot function with him off the floor, and you could do that even in the 2015 finals when he was off the floor. They got destroyed. They had an offensive rating of like 80 in the finals. What are you talking about? This idea, if you're gonna value winning, you can't complain when a dude is purposely trying to put himself in position to win every year by getting the best players. Guess what? Hold on. Y'all niggas don't give Damian Lillard credit. Hold on. Y'all don't give Damian Lillard credit, right? Do you think him for staying with Portland? Do you praise Allen Iverson for staying with the Sixers?
TJ, turn on your mic. Your mic is too loud.
Listen to other people. Like he be
King J cooking his ass.
Yeah, well, I want to respond. I want to respond to King J what he sat there and said, because what he said is a flawed point. To sit there and say from 2015 to 2017 that the team was terrible without him on the court. Well, if it's a heliocentric style system where it's predicated LeBron James being the system and being the point of attack over everything offensively, and it's predicated to him just dominating and playing a heliocentric style of basketball, of course the team is going to struggle when he's off the court because he played this heliocentric style of basketball where the offensive system in the office is catered around LeBron James. So sitting there and bringing up this record of what they are with him out the court, that's a flawed point, because when you're a heliocentric style of player and it's all focused on or compacted on you doing everything, dominating to the rebound, the playmaking, the passing, of course they're going to struggle. They struggle with every player, every great player when they're not on the court.
This is where you're wrong. This is where you're wrong. This is where you're wrong.
Michael Jordan left.
Hold on. This is where you're wrong, because when LeBron first got to Cleveland, they actually ran the offense through Kyrie as the point guard, and the team was losing because he would have games against Utah where he's scoring 30 points and having zero assists. So the only way for the team to function is for LeBron to be the primary facilitator and the playmaker. He came into the season, said Kyrie's the point guard. We saw it. He had 30 points against the Jazz, no assists. And the idea, like, they're supposed to be if the team is so stacked from talent, The team won 4 out of 27 games, and you're blaming the fact they're on pace to win 10 games over the course of like basically a 72 game season. Is the fact LeBron is so heliocentric? That's bullshit. You said Kevin Love is 26-13. Kyrie Irving's an all-star. He's 23-5, 23-6. Why can't they win more than? Why can't they beat a 500 team without LeBron?
Because
why are they one of the worst teams in the league?
What you're saying is flawed. Because at the end of the day, the reason why is a flawed point. Because if you put context to the 2015 when they ran the offense to Kyrie Irving that short stint of time, LeBron was not playing good. He was shooting like 2 for 12 from the field. He was having like 4 to 5 turnovers. He was not playing his normal stuff to start of that 2015 year. He was not good. And you also cook your point on this point as well. The reason why it didn't have no impact because LeBron does not have no off-ball value. He is not portable. He is not portable to play off-ball throughout the whole direction of throughout the entire season and could be elite off the ball, coming off a curl, pin down, continue to move, bro, and still create advantages when he's off the basketball, bro. So what you're saying is a flawed point, bro.
Also, too,
no, it's not a flawed point. Hold on, one more point, Miles. You can go. Hold on, I just want to respond to this point. I'm gonna let you go, Miles. I promise. Luka's heliocentric. His team doesn't fall off the face of the earth when he doesn't play. The same thing with James Harden. There are plenty of heliocentric players that's still able to function or at least be competent when they're missing games. Why can't they win 4 out of 27 games? Why can't they be 500? They're so talented. Hold on. The talent. I think that talent should be able to carry you to 500.
That's not true. When Luka Doncic is off the court, the Dallas Mavericks is on one of the worst offense. They've been the worst offense throughout most of
with Kyrie. When Kyrie was there,
we talk about Kyrie. Yes,
hold on. With Kyrie, that's not true.
Hold on. Throughout the majority of Luka Doncic's prime, when he had Jalen Brunson, when he had Kristaps Porzingis, when Luka Doncic was off the court because how restricted he is, the Dallas Mavericks
about to get cooked,
bro.
Okay. Hold on. Easy cook. Hold on. Easy cook. Why did the Mavs go up 2-1 on the Jazz when Luka didn't play?
Thank you.
That's 1 game sample size.
No, hold on. That's 3 game sample size. They're so bad. They're so atrocious.
And the Utah Jazz is not a good team. They're not.
They're a playoff team. They're a playoff team. The Cavs could even beat terrible teams.
Well, that's why Brunson got his money from the Knicks.
And you said Luka held back Brunson.
Hold on, bro. You keep on over talking. The Utah Jazz is not a good team. So measure the Utah Jazz when they're not a real consistent playoff threat or they're not really a good team.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They were not a good team that
year. Okay.
Imagine a 3 game sample size going into the Utah Jazz where they lack point of attack defense, where they're not good on the basketball, bro. When it was all catered to Donovan Mitchell, and you had a Rudy Gobert who couldn't space the floor out worth shit, so it faltered a team's offense ability to be able to space out the floor. That's a terrible fucking point. Imagine a 3 game sample size to one of the worst point of attack defense in the league. Anybody can cook.
Okay, terrible. How many teams in NBA? Okay, you know I'm gonna let Miles go. I was
just gonna say this real quick. We can't forget in the 2015 season when LeBron went back to the
Cleveland Cavaliers. Put your legs in the bag, King J.
Go ahead, when LeBron went back to the Cavaliers, Scap and Tommy, he had lost all that weight and he took a 2-week hiatus. We still don't know what happened to this day. What he was doing down there in Miami, I don't know. Right? He comes back what it is. 10, 15 pounds bigger. And so King J wants to lie and say Kyrie ran the point guard position. That wasn't why they were losing. LeBron James came into the season skinny. I mean, he just wasn't himself. He had no lift. He wasn't playing good basketball, but he comes back. And then so I just want to make sure that we put context on that because we can't skip steps.
Why y'all keep trying to bring up that LeBron might be on PEDs or juicing? What's the issue?
Well, Tommy, do you know why he left for 2 weeks?
Oh, do you know?
That's what I'm saying. It was an alleged back injury.
I'm just asking a question, Scott.
Like I'm a Barry Bonds fan. A lot of people trying to say
he needed to refresh himself. They were at the time they were 5th in the Eastern Conference. In the 8 games leading into his 2-week hiatus, he was across the board down in points, rebounds, shooting lower, field goal percentage, assists were down.
Right.
And he took a little 2-week break to go to Miami of all places for a little R&R. And when he came back, he had, mysteriously looked more athletic. His points, assists, rebounds, shooting percentage totals all lifted back up the rest of the year. And the Cavaliers jumped, I believe, either to the 2 or the 1 seed from that point when they were in the 5. I'm just saying that's what happened.
What you say,
Even
Tom?
if he was juicing, what's wrong with that? Like the other players aren't juicing.
What's wrong with
he was very slick. He was very slick.
Well,
he said,
I mean,
I don't like when people.
that was very
use
slick,
Can I
Scott.
answer Tommy's question real quick?
Tommy, you telling me juicing is right? That's what you telling me, Tommy?
No, I'm saying, why do we talk about things like someone else doesn't have access to it? Meaning, I as a baseball fan, I hate it when they tried to use that against Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
It was horrible for them to try to use it because, number one, you had Babe Ruth, who they love to talk about, who never played against any Negroes, who were the best players in baseball. He didn't play against any of them. You also had people who were taking greenies. Then you got people, there's always been advantages that athletes have taken. From Gatorade, what happened to the people who only had water? Like, we start doing these things, every generation has these advantages that others don't have. But also everybody seems to partake in them. I remember when everybody was talking about how great Lance Armstrong and his victories were, and they found out, even though he had passed all those tests, that he was doing the same thing. And then how all the other people in Tour de France came out and said what?
So here's this bullshit
Let
excuse.
me answer his question real quick, King Jake. He asked a question. Tommy, and good question. The reason why I hold true to if he's juicing, it's a problem, is because LeBron James has said on numerous occasions he spends over $1 million on his body, and he ties his individual workout, his work ethic, his body. That's how he plays his sport. That's how he earns a living for him and his family. His body is his. Okay, I got you, man. His body to him is his temple, and so we're saying if you're not if you're not doing these things right, then you're not going to have the longevity. You're not going to have the athleticism, all these things up to this point. And so that's why I think if he is juicing, to me, it's a big deal. To some, it's not, but to me, it is. Because of that.
Can I just answer that question?
Hold on, just one more note. The Cavs went 1-6 in the 2016 and 2017 seasons when LeBron didn't play.
Man,
so
we on PEDs,
that takes out 2015. Like, we get it, bro. PEDs, LeBron's on PEDs. Like, we get it. Like, if we're being honest, most of the athletes in most professional sports are on PEDs. We know that Stan Van Gundy said it. Derrick Rose said it. We know most of these niggas are on PEDs. Do I think LeBron's on PEDs? Yes. Do I think other athletes like Giannis or KD or other players like on PEDs? Yes.
Let me answer the question though. Let me answer the question as to why it would matter for LeBron. To me, I think Barry Bonds is a good point, because I agree with you completely on Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, the greatest baseball player I've ever seen. He is my best baseball player ever. It is an absolute crying shame and a crime that he's not in the Hall of Fame, in my estimation. And the reason is because the federal government in the United States did a protracted investigation into Bonds and pretty much pinpointed what year he started using it. And he was basically just using it in response to everything that was happening around him at the time. But like, if you just cut off his career completely from the year that they speculated he started using, he's still the best player of all time that I've ever seen. So that's why it doesn't matter to me with Bonds. Why it would matter more, I think, in LeBron's case, is because the main point of LeBron's legacy is longevity. And is his ability to play to this stage and this level and to accrue the counting stats that he has. So that would have been bolstered exponentially had he been using these PEDs. Not to say that others aren't, but are others' legacies as propped up as much on their longevity as LeBron's is going to ultimately be at the end of the day.
And I'm with
you.
To
Tommy's point, though, the technology is there where you don't actually have to juice up. You can actually use cryotherapy and other mechanisms to restore your body, your muscles, to where you don't have to use this stuff. This stuff was not available back in the day. So when you sit here and just accuse him of using some drugs, why aren't all these other athletes using this cryotherapy? Why aren't they out there working out as hard as LeBron James? And now that he's doing that and he's exceeding them, you want to sit there and blame it on PEDs, bro. That's not fair. If you don't know that he's using the PEDs, he hadn't failed any test. There's no three-letter agency that caught him doing anything, including the NBA. We can't make these allegations, unfounded allegations, bro. I don't care about what nobody says. They don't have the authority to talk about LeBron James anything.
And by the way, if you haven't noticed, like almost all the players in the league today have better longevity. Like, look at KD, bro. He has 15. He's in his 15th, 16th season, bro. Like, he's what, 34, 35?
Yeah, that's really what I was trying to get at and point out, even like Tommy John surgery. So we're going to say that the guy who got the best version of Tommy John surgery can't be better than Tommy John because he got his career extended the way Tommy John did.
But this is the thing. Why do y'all deflect to other players?
No, because you have to. We're saying look at it in a
We're
full
talking
context.
about LeBron Ramon James on PEDs.
There's no negative
We're
test,
talking
man.
about LeBron
You
James.
haven't caught him on it. You're speculating. I can see if you said he got caught in.
Listen. There's a lot of things, a lot of allegations thrown LeBron James' way. All we sitting there saying, come out there and address these allegations. He addressed almost every other allegation. He addressed every. He addressed everything that is written against him.
Michael Jordan doesn't address every allegation.
We're not talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan and LeBron James are two completely different things.
No,
Michael Jordan didn't go. Hold on. Michael Jordan didn't grow up with social media. LeBron James grew up with social media. So LeBron James is on Twitter addressing allegations, false reports that have been written for Chris Haynes and everybody else before. So we talking about a guy in Chael Sonnen had to sit there and made that claim that LeBron James is allegedly on PEDs and they had the same.
I ain't addressing everything somebody say about me.
LeBron James come out there and address the allegations. He took a 2-week to a biogenesis gym, came back full of muscle, full of weight because he wasn't playing above the rim in the start of the 2015 season. He wasn't good whatsoever. It's about time for LeBron James to come out and address those allegations. Because at the end of the day, I'm LeBron James.
Why? Why should he tell you that he wasn't on PEDs? Because as soon as he says it, what are you going to ask him to do? As soon as he said, I didn't do it, what are you going to ask him to do?
I'm going to say he's addressed the allegations. That's good. He said it those things false.
When he says, I never did it, will it stop for you? Will you be satisfied and let it go?
If he addressed those allegations, I would lay off. I would lay cool. I would have my suspicions. Everybody's going to have their suspicions. But my point, I didn't. I'm good. My point is to sit here and say, when Victor Conte went on Jason Whitlock's show, right, and sat there and said that LeBron James is using Balco, and LeBron James, it should be suspicious. So ESPN literally covered up the article that was going to indict LeBron James being on that, bro. That's all y'all need to know.
Y'all still is this speculation, and he hasn't been caught. It's just like what I talked about with LeBron, with Barry Bonds. They went through the United States government wins 98% of their cases against people. They lost all 8 of their cases against him, all of them. They won one. He went back and appealed, and then they lost that one. But we still say this man, and we take him out of the Hall of Fame and all these things because of speculation. And I really don't like when we do this, especially in the world of athletes, when we have these guys out here and they're glorified gladiators. They really are. That's what we're doing to them, and we want to force them out there however they need to go out there. We got football players, and we shooting them with shit that makes them not feel anything so they can complete a game.
Hey, I got to ask you something, Tommy. Does this look like LeBron?
That hat don't. Why is his hat so big?
Man, why is he so skinny? That's the question, Mookie.
Damn.
Listen.
This picture was taken in the all season of 2015.
By that logic, Magic should be dead. We should be mad at whatever they gave him.
No. This picture, I want y'all to listen, chat. This picture right here as we looking, right? This picture was taken of the 2015. This man looks sick. He looks sick.
Yeah, that look crop to me. That's a crop picture.
Look like LeBron.
Yeah, he don't look real. Sick. He looks sick and gay.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
He does.
This picture was taken 2015 all season, chat. 2015 all season, right? And this is the reason why LeBron was not playing above the rim that started that 2015 year, and he was not looking good. And he took a 2-week biogenesis to go to Miami. Now all of a sudden he's playing like LeBron again. He's full of weight, full of muscle, playing above the rim, playing the same thing. Bro, it's all.
What was the date you said? Hold on, what date was that picture taken?
It was after.
What date was that picture taken?
It was.
That was after he lost by a record margin to the Spurs. That offseason.
But what date was it? Give me the date, because I want to go look at him on film. If you got a date, I want to correlate that date to him on film, because that don't look real. That looks fake. That's like a fake picture.
I remember it was on ESPN.
So give me the forensics. What is the date that picture was taken?
I remember that was on ESPN. That's a real picture. Because it
That's a
was
real
a
thing.
headline.
No, I don't want to hear about that. What's the date?
That's
What's
a
the
real
date?
big thing. There's nothing you can say about it, bro.
Yeah, I can ask for the date. I like to know the date.
Shout out to Joshy. He said LeBron's wife got caught with steroids at his home as well. But I gotta ask Snap something too.
Because she on steroids.
She got a smoothie business.
She trying to get her body right. That had nothing to do with him. She trying to keep up
she
with
rich.
how her husband is.
Go get surgery.
Why can't I get a date for the picture?
I gotta ask you. It's 2014. Look it up. We're not gonna sit here and do all this waste airtime. Snap. I gotta ask you one question, and I want everybody to get their thoughts on it.
It was taken in August, by the way.
Between August. Between LeBron James and Kobe, right? Who back to back, right? Between LeBron, you can say LeBron in 12 to 13, right? And you can say Kobe's in 09 to 10. Which back to back was much more impressive to you, Snap, between LeBron and Kobe back to back championships?
I mean, I kind of addressed it earlier, but to me, Kobe's the 09-010 run, in my estimation, is the greatest multi-year championship run in NBA history. Why do I say that? Because of the level of competition he faced and the supporting cast that he had. So he is the only player ever to win consecutive titles with no other top 75 teammates. That's Kobe in 09 and 010. And who was he playing when he won those two championships? Everyone won 50 games. There was only one non-50 win opponent that he faced. So 7 of the 8 opponents that he played against in that run won at least 50 games in the regular season. The only non-50 win team was the 48-win Utah Jazz in 09 in the first round. So, and then his primary supporting, his main support, his second best player was Pau Gasol. Say what you will about his career. Look at it before Kobe and look at it after Kobe.
He was 20 and 10 before.
How do you feel about the Celtics championship
He
this
made
year?
an all-star team without Kobe. It was 20 and 10.
Hold on, one at a time.
Final point. He beat in back-to-back years the two teams that eliminated LeBron James, who was the league MVP both of those seasons, and his Cavaliers had the best record in the NBA those years. So those were who Kobe beat. So he played an absolute gauntlet to get out of the West. And then he played the Magic and the Celtics, who eliminated MVP LeBron both of those years.
But we know the East was weak, right? We all accept that. If it was a gauntlet on the West, it got to the point where they expected whoever came out of the West was going to beat whoever on the East because the East was weak. True or false?
But why couldn't LeBron beat those teams in the East then as the MVP with the best record in the NBA then?
Because his team was worse. Seriously, if you're in a weak East, if you fight weak opponents, you never get a chance, and now you get to fight somebody that's been through the gauntlet, he whoops your ass because you've had all these soft-ass opponents. If you look,
hold on.
That's why I was asking you about
it was just a bad matchup against the Magic. It was a bad matchup. The Cavs called a bad matchup against the Cavs.
I'd love to have his opinion because they won this year, but they had one of the easiest roads to the finals in history. So how do you count this championship of theirs? Is it impressive to you, or do you view it the way win percentage-wise history looks at it as not very impressive?
Well, I think Boston's run was not that good. I think they had an easy run to the finals. But if you're saying the East was weak, then why couldn't LeBron James, who won 60-plus games in back-to-back seasons, Tommy, why couldn't his team beat those weak Magic and those weak Boston Celtics team? Because you said they're weak. Kobe Bryant beat Orlando in 5 games. And I'm
just explaining why he would have 60-some-odd wins, because that would fall into who you play. If you play the right schedule, and if your schedule is you play the Wizards 8 times a year.
4 times a year.
Or whatever it is. What I'm saying is when you beat up on these teams that we know fucking suck, you run into somebody else, it's easy to lose. Your 60 wins looks inflated. Their 60 wins, if you go back and look at it, it looks very inflated. As a matter of fact, you probably can go look and see what they did against the West that year. They might have had a lot of their losses against either the West or good East teams.
LeBron was the reason they lost versus the Magic.
The Cavaliers had the coach of the year. They had the best 3-point shooter in Daniel Gibson from Texas.
Not Booby.
They were a top defensive team, right? I mean, they checked a lot of boxes, Scap, those 2 years, and they were picked to come out of the Eastern Conference.
But most people looked at them and thought they weren't that good.
Hold on.
I watched it, and you looked at them and you thought it's just like.
Well, you're saying that now, but during the season,
these people, because what was Booby after he left? That's what I'm saying. You can't say these were good teams when these.
What was Pau Gasol after Kobe? I mean, we can say the same thing about
Pau Gasol was still great after Kobe.
After Kobe Bryant, he didn't win anything.
Well, he just pointed out Paul was a good player before.
So why can't we? Okay, Tommy.
Also before Kobe.
Hold on, King J. I'm not doing that, bro. Tommy, why can't we just be honest, bro, and put the onus on the best player, bro? He just didn't get it done. I mean, listen, let's call a spade, right, Scott? He didn't get it done.
LeBron James, the best player in the league. Best player ever played.
Kobe Bryant was the best player in the league at the time.
Yeah, no, I'm saying when they say he is, I get mad. I still would rather. I'm not a LeBron fan, but what I do is sometimes I go back and I look at it, and I say after taking a look at it, what has this person done? What have they meant to the league? What have they meant to the teams? I've undervalued him.
Do you believe LeBron James can guard 1 through 5, Tommy?
I undervalued him. Huh?
Do you believe that LeBron James can guard 1 through 5?
I actually have seen him do it.
Okay, so why didn't he guard Dwight Howard or Dirk Nowitzki?
Remember, some of this stuff got to look at.
I'm asking a question, bro.
I'm just saying, some of this stuff you have to look at as coaching.
It's levels to it.
Coach is telling you to do something. Like everybody who was watching the Mavericks saw that it started to be a problem with Luka Doncic just playing bully ball.
We're going back to Luka now. I asked a question.
No, I'm just saying.
Every 5 that he has to go against ain't a Dwight Howard.
Sometimes so why didn't he guard?
Thiago Splitter is not Dwight Howard. He's a 5 though.
What do people mean when they say guard 1 through 5?
I just give me a straight answer, man.
Like, what do people mean by 1 through 5? Okay, there's dudes that could legitimately shut down 1 through. Hold on, no, there's legitimate people that could like shut down and guard 1 through 5 at a high level, and then there's a tier below them where a guy's okay, he could switch onto a 5 for like 1 or 2 possessions and not compromise your defense. I think LeBron is in that area where like, okay, you could switch him on to Dwight Howard off a pick and roll for like 1 or 2 possessions, and he could get you a couple stops or a stop or 2. That's what I think. That's why I think LeBron is in. Am I saying he could guard Dwight Howard over the course of the entire game?
1 through 5, but you wouldn't want to keep him on a guard.
But usually when people sit there and say they can guard 1 through 5, it means that they can hold their own or literally guard 4s and 5s in the league, bro. And I've never seen LeBron James
hold his own. I've seen him do it.
Well, he cannot. Dennis Rodman
did it with Tim Duncan in the finals, or multiple times he guarded Duncan in the finals.
But he can't stop Shaq.
Yes, there were plenty of times. Hold on, there were plenty of times he switched on to Duncan in the finals and held his own.
Bro, you keep
and got to stop.
Switching on somebody for like 30 or 40 seconds is not the same thing as
I'm not talking about 30, 40 seconds. I'm talking about you can switch on him, and it's not a compromise.
We talk about like, your matchup, I can put you on a center and I can
that's why I wanted a distinction
throughout 3 or 4 5-minute possessions throughout the majority.
Okay, that's why I wanted a distinction. That's why I wanted a distinction.
When I sit there and say guards,
I can give you guys one.
I'm saying mine. Put LeBron James on Tim Duncan, and I want you to stick him throughout majority of the game. And then after that, Mons, I want you to guard Tony Parker. And then after that, I want you to guard everybody else.
Well, check this out, Mookie. Check this out, fellas. In their 2011 finals, there were 2 games, Scap, which came down to the winning moments where Dirk scored 2 game-winning shots, right? If LeBron can guard 1 through 5 and he's bigger, stronger than Chris Bosh, then isn't that the perfect scenario where you put your best defensive player on Dirk Nowitzki?
He's not bigger than Chris Bosh.
Hold on, walk to Chris Bosh, who's making the same amount as you, and tell him don't
coming out of the timeout, Tommy.
You literally kill his confidence.
Coming out of the timeout,
he can't hold his man. You know that's a difficult thing to do, to tell somebody you can't hold your man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
How do you think?
Guess what? I'm gonna tell you when. I'm gonna tell you when.
Michael Jordan had to have them be able to hold their man.
Oh, listen. Tommy. Grant Hill was cooking Scottie Pippen. NBA goes, hey, Phil, no, switch that shit. I got him. I got that. Because listen, in that moment, why would you care about feelings for? It's about getting the win. Why do you care about your players' feelings for? It's about getting the win.
Championship, most people tell you don't start changing now.
He didn't do that to Penny.
Am I wrong?
You want to win, then. Hey, Scott. So they care about feelings and not winning. Okay.
Most people think that what
MJ didn't do that to Penny.
It's same thing the Lakers did when they had Gary Payton. They thought what got us there, and they kept playing the same ball.
Well, there's a word called Tommy.
That's what got them there.
Tommy, there's a word called in sports, it's called adjustments. So, I mean, you're supposed to adjust because if Chris Bosh can't guard him, hold on.
Dance with the person you brought to the dance.
No, you don't. No, you don't. If Chris Bosh can't guard him, then I need a better player defensively who they say is bigger, stronger, and faster. You go check him.
Destroying him every game so they didn't switch.
No, Nowitzki was killing
this man went on a heater.
Huh?
He wasn't destroying him every game. He went on a heater.
That's Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, Chris Bosh had no chance. Literally no chance. We all know this.
Dirk Nowitzki is 7-something and shooting fadeaway three.
But he's a better option than Chris Bosh than LeBron James.
LeBron, who's shorter, doesn't matter how good he is. He's that many inches shorter. It's just like Wemby. It doesn't matter how good a defender you are. Wemby just shoots over you. And if he's on the outside of the court, he's going to destroy you.
I don't buy into that.
Can we rewind a little bit and talk about this nepotism and this Bronny stuff? Because I want to get Tommy's take on this whole. What do you think about Bron bringing his son into the league, his team?
Listen, I think that every male who has children should look at that and say, "I wish I could do that." Absolutely. And every company, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, probably shouldn't be in the position that he's in. Jeannie Buss shouldn't be in the position that she's in. This man has leverage all of the years they've used him, because no matter how much money LeBron James got paid, the people he worked for got paid more than him. He just leveraged the fact that now I can use the value that you think about me to give my son the 55th pick in the second round, which, let's be honest, no one cares about that. There's been lies that's been going around, people saying he taking the job of somebody else. No, he not. Because here's the thing. If you're that much better than him, you can catch on as a free agent. If you're that much better than him, you can catch on over in some other league and then come back. If you're that much better than him, summer league. It's a wasted pick. Anybody knows that this is a wasted pick. It didn't matter. It wasn't going to make or break the Lakers. But what it is going to do is put more money in the Lakers' pockets. And guess who else it put money in? The NBA's pocket. Because we're talking about something that we would never talk about in a normal year. It's the Caitlin Clark effect. Good, bad, or indifferent. Now, I know Caitlin Clark is actually a player, but the effect is this. I remember when White Chocolate had the #1 selling jersey over Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. It wasn't because he was better than them. It made the league richer, and it was a story. Christian McCaffrey, he got picked, and a lot of people said this white boy ain't going to be able to run and have that. He proved them wrong, but he was allowed to prove them wrong. Wemby's first game in the summer league scored 3 points, and a lot of people
he looked bad.
Yes. So what I say is nepotism. If the brother can use it, I'm sad to see all these black folks. No offense to the brother on the panel, but black folks being mad at this. This is the thing we should never be mad at, especially when we're claiming it's been done to us by the other people throughout American history. One time a black person is able to do it, we're crying about it and saying he shouldn't be doing it when it is a wasted pick, a throwaway pick that's not going to cost anybody anything. I could see if he was costing the Lakers money, costing the Lakers draft position, costing the league, or any of that. He's not. What is the issue?
Facts.
Well said. Because nepotism, no matter what race it is, or no matter who you are, is still wrong at the end of the day. Like,
no, it isn't.
Yeah, well, I'm building my business to do some nepotism, and I'm sure everybody else is too.
Nepotism.
Yeah, why would you say nepotism is wrong? Who told you that?
It's not what I told. Is that at the end of the day,
please don't tell the Royals that over in England.
No, it's just
let me get it straight, Mookie. If you ran a business,
can you let me talk? Can you let me talk, bro?
Barack Obama's kids got chances.
My point is to sit there and say nepotism is not right at the end of the day, because the reason why it's not right, you're basically favoring a family member to get a job that the family member is not fit to get that job.
That's not what it means.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't mean they're not fit. Nepotism does not mean they're not fit.
Hold on. 9 times out of 10, when we look at the nepotism, when we talking about pertaining to LeBron James,
9 times out of 10, they're not fit for it. 9 times out of 10,
can't look up a stat like that.
Hold on, Tommy. Let me talk. The thing that you got to understand is this: is that name me a time when you have seen a position, right, where we have seen like Bronny James, for instance, a player that is not quite fit to be a second round pick. There's other players in the league that could have got that draft pick over goddamn Bronny James. But the thing is that his father, who's in power within the Los Angeles Lakers organization, who has the influence to get Bronny James onto the roster, he used his nepotism to get his son, who was not quite fit to be over these other black basketball players that have literally put in the work.
No, other
basketball players, no matter what. But that's why I sat there and said nepotism is wrong, because at the end of the day, I could be more qualified to get the position. I could be more fit to get the position, but at the end of the day, I lose it because a person is within an organization.
Okay,
I hear everything you're saying. Please let me argue back. You have organizations called the Qs, the Alphas, the sororities, fraternities. And these people will hire people. Let me tell you what I went to school for. Not even a degree. It was the connections. I got my first job at IBM and I was not qualified for it. You know why I got it though? Because I knew a guy. Nepotism is typically what the world is. People hire who they're comfortable with. Period. Jeannie Buss should not have the job she has. She got it.
That's not
because her dad had this and gave it to her. Michael Jordan's sons all are in high-level positions at his company, and his daughter is. Each of them. You think this would have happened had their names not been Jordan?
That's not.
No. Y'all are saying
that is.
It doesn't happen. It happens a whole lot. Even in sports. Let me give you another example in sports that's unfair, but it happened.
Y'all getting nepotism and cronyism different. Like that is two different.
I know, but you're trying to say that.
But what you said about
is not as bad.
But what you said about the situation, you getting hired because a friend know you or something like that, that's cronyism. There's a difference between cronyism and nepotism. Nepotism focus on relatives. Cronyism. Yeah, nepotism focus on family members getting you into a position where you don't belong. And cronyism is like a friend or who you know. Like that's what I'm saying.
Cronyism has had
cronyism means you're not qualified at all. You have no qualifications whatsoever.
Hold on.
Nepotism does not.
There's
no qualification in nepotism.
The difference between nepotism and cronyism. Nepotism means favoring only relatives in a position, when cronyism is favoring only companions and friends in every
what
position.
I'm saying. So each is favoritism.
Two different things.
Okay, can you Google the definition of nepotism?
Favor. Yes or no?
Repeat that again.
If you did not know them, they would not get that favor. Yes or no? Whether it's family or whether it's friends. And that's my only point, that the league has had this happen throughout. And when y'all talk about he brought a player that does not matter on a team, Jeannie Buss is hiring the coach. Jeannie Buss is bringing the free agents in. So we're going to be upset about a dude and a pick that has never mattered in the NBA. Never. Versus a person whose last name is Buss. So they were given that job to be able to literally put the team together. It seemed like we'd be more upset at that one. That nepotism. How about this one? We have people running the country, and you have a Bush and then another Bush just because you knew Bushes. You had and it's continued to go that these people are all related and they run your country.
Cheney's in the Congress.
Can I ask you a question, Mookie? Can you read the definition of nepotism, please? Can you Google it and read it?
Nepotism means, if you look at nepotism means favoring only relatives in all position. Cronyism means favoring only companions and friends.
Hold on. This is not only relatives.
That's not true. It's friends and relatives.
Pull it up on the screen. Google nepotism.
Nepotism means only favoring family.
No, it does not.
No, it does not. It means friends and relatives.
But it's mostly doing family. There's a difference.
It's friends and relatives. Mookie. Anybody you know is nepotism.
Nepotism means the act of granting an advantage, privilege, or position to family, relatives, in an occupation or field. That's what the nepotism means.
Exactly. Anybody you know. It doesn't matter.
Nepotism can include your friends or their associates. So it is not just family.
But what is the difference between nepotism and cronyism then?
Cronyism is they're not qualified.
They don't have no qualification. You just put them there.
Cronyism is mostly based off of friends. You're basically getting a friend that you're basically getting a friend that is not. You're basically getting a friend that's not qualified.
Why wouldn't you just look up the actual definition so you don't have to say basic?
I really did look up.
But what does it say?
And the actual definition between nepotism and cronyism, nepotism is based off of family. Cronyism is based off of friends getting a job that is not qualified or fit. But nepotism based
y'all, everybody, y'all should Google this yourself. He didn't do it. He Googled the difference between. Here's what cronyism is. It's exactly what me and the brother said on the bottom. The appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard to their qualifications. That is literally the definition. Not okay, I think.
Let me show it on the.
I'm gonna see the link.
Let me show it right here, right now, man. Let me show it right here, right now. Nepotism means favoring only relatives in a position. Cronyism is favoring only companions and friends in every position. That's the difference.
I asked him to look up the definition in Webster's dictionary of each one. He wants to go to a person who's trying to tell you the difference.
I'm telling
you a comparison. Just do what it means.
I'm telling you the difference.
Look them up individual.
Look up what it means. Don't look at the difference. You're looking at the comparison.
Why would you look up somebody else's idea of what the difference is?
What is the hold on? I'm asking you, what is the difference between nepotism and cronyism?
So you know
they told you
it's about political power. Cronyism is about appointments and political power.
Okay, hold on. I look at the definition: the appointment of friends and associates to position of authority without proper regard to their qualification.
Yes,
that's cronyism. So cronyism is basically cronyism is basically offering a guy a job that is basically your friend.
Yeah, we're talking about power and authority in politics.
No, but that's what I'm basically saying. Between nepotism and cronyism, there are two different things that correlate it. That's what I'm saying.
Crony.
Dude, it's not. Listen, trust me. It's not. You're talking about two different things, bro. You're talking about politics and power. You're talking about cronyism is politics and power. Nepotism is just hiring people and giving favoritism.
That correlate. Is the two things that correlate. We're arguing with semantics based on what we're doing right now.
No, we're not.
My point is to sit there and say is that when we looking at nepotism and we look at cronyism, right? My point is to sit there and say nepotism is still wrong at the end of the day. So you sitting there bringing up other instances.
All right. Well, let me say this though.
Happening within the organization.
I will tell you that
it's still wrong because stop over talking me. My point is to sit there and say is that. When have you ever seen a family-oriented business that is successful? Name me at least 6 that has been successable.
What?
Because every mom and pop shop
is Nepotism.
Bro, most of the big corporations are family owned, man. Like
every one of them,
Walmart is owned. They pass it down to their family, bro.
They're family owned. Hold on. Walmart has a CEO that's not even within the family. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna make it simple for you. If you go into our community, every mom and pop shop you see is all nepotism, bro. They pass it down from one generation to the next. It's all nepotism.
What I'm saying is that usually when businesses fail, it's already family matter. It's nepotism that are involved. When we looking at this Bronny James, Bronny James,
he's not backing up anything he's saying with any stats. Usually,
I don't. My point. Bro. You can go look this up. This is
what stat do you look at that like most businesses fail because of nepotism? You can't look at
this. My point is to sit there and say is that you gotta look at this point. My point is to sit there and say nepotism is setting. When we look at this Bronny James situation, let's go to this Bronny James situation. The reason why I think LeBron James is a bad father at the end of the day, bro, because he set his son up for failure. And the reason why he set his son up for failure, because at the end of the day, he sat there and vouched for his son to be on the Los Angeles Lakers when he was not fit or qualified for the fucking position, bro. He gave his son a goddamn opportunity at the end of the day. Huh?
Most people do that in politics.
And my point is to sit there and say, just because everybody do that, that don't make it right.
Hold on.
So let me ask you, hold on, let me give you an example.
Well, by your logic, you set a young man up for failure when you draft him number one. By your logic, if you draft a young man number one, and he's just a teenager, you're setting him up for failure.
Hold on, Tommy, that's not the same thing. The reason why it's not the same thing, because at the end of the day, usually players that are drafted number one are qualified to be able to fit, to be able to be
number one players fail.
Most of the number one players. Most of the number one players were good in college.
Most of
Bronny James wasn't good in college.
Sure. They weren't picked.
Bronny James averaged 3 points per game in college.
They weren't picked
2 points per game in college. Shooting sub 20-30% for the field.
Is more of a burden.
So my point is to sit there and say,
like
LeBron James using his influence. LeBron James using his influence and his political power to get Bronny James within that organization with the Los Angeles Lakers, when there's other players that was much better than him in college, using his nepotism to get drafted when he don't deserve to be drafted, when he's not good, and setting up with a failure because he sat there on another breath and sat there and said Bronny's better than half these players in the league. Bronny James
start in the league. What could happen? The 55th pick. Remember that. 55th. What's the failure?
Almost none of them are in the league, bro.
The failure is living up to your daddy's standard. And the standard that LeBron James put on Bronny James, he sat there and said that he can be the best player on a championship, a starting point guard on a championship team. He's better than half these players in the goddamn league. This is what LeBron James sat there and said.
He didn't say that.
That's setting him up for failure.
He did not say start.
Their sons.
He did say start.
Do they not? Most fathers talk about their son that way.
You said what?
Most fathers talk about their son that way, even if it ain't right. Every one of them sit up there and say, my son can come out there because they're trying to be.
It's the 55th pick, bro. That's probably like 10 to 15 NBA. If we're going to look at drafts.
You can still lie. You can still lie about your son and still be delusional about the son. Okay. But at the end of the day, they don't set their son up for failure. But that's like sitting there and saying, and I'm empowered to have my kid to be in a position where he could be the top culinary cooking guy, right? And then at the end of the day, you're going to get somebody that has like 12, 20 years experience of culinary cooking, and I'm getting on there and he just started cooking like 2-3 weeks ago, right? And sitting there and say, oh yes, it's you, my son. I'm gonna give you this position over a guy that's been in goddamn
royalty does it all the time
for 20 fucking goddamn years.
Okay. So the argument is that it's wrong, but at the end of the day, second round picks most of the time are flyers anyway. They're not looking for someone to contribute. Or most second round picks are not NBA players. They're out the league in like 2 years, 3 years. With Bron, it was like, okay, his dad, he comes from a great pedigree. His father's one of the greatest players all time. They're like, okay, let's take a flyer and just take Bronny James. We like this, like what Tommy said, we like the story. He had cardiac arrest. He had a bad season in college. They probably think, who knows, he might have upside. So why not take a flyer with the 55th pick, bro?
Bro, you even wrong about that. Most second round picks don't make the team.
What was Chris Middleton, KJ?
What was who?
See, it's like, come on, bro. Like you're telling me if your team had like the 55th pick.
Hold on.
I'm not even trying to argue that Bronny's a good player, bro. It's just
I'm asking you, what was Chris Middleton? What is the guy that you could suck up in Nikola?
Bro, that's not the point. That's not the point. Are there some second round picks throughout history that became really good players? Most of them, bro. Look, bro. That's not a good argument.
My point is that there's other players that deserve the position over Bronny James. The guy Keaton Ellis, right, who went undrafted.
Yeah,
right?
Where's this deserve? That's a deep word you're using. Deserve?
Yes, they deserve.
Exactly.
By that logic, there's
You don't
other
deserve
guys
none
who
of the team don't
be
think you
number
deserve.
one over the guy that got picked number one.
And let's be honest, bro. Like most people don't give a shit that the Nasus still has a roster spot on the Bucks, bro. Because at the end of the day, like the 15th, 14th best player on the NBA team, like we don't give a shit, bro. They don't play. They don't have an impact on your team's chances of building a roster.
People to say who deserves as the
Nasus situation is,
and we don't know who deserves to be on the
Bro,
team.
the Nasus is only in the league because Giannis wants him on the team, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, everyone's clowning him. See, they say he's the worst player in the league. He doesn't provide anything on the floor, but he's there because their best player.
And Bronny James is worse than Nasus. And my point is to sit there.
Okay, but I'm sure they believe they could develop eventually. Like
the situation with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bronny is completely different because at the end of the day, chat, Giannis Antetokounmpo was not in position of authority. He was
what?
What?
Yo,
you're not hearing what I'm saying. Just
He's in the same position as
no. Listen to what I'm saying. When was Thanasis drafted?
Bro, he's not. That's not the point. It's not when he's drafted by the Bucks.
No, because you're trying to compare.
You're talking about the fact that
You're trying to compare Thanasis and LeBron James situation. Those are two completely different.
Bro, your entire argument.
Because hold on. Because when Giannis Antetokounmpo was with the Milwaukee Bucks, he was drafted, right? He was drafted, I think, right around the same time Thanasis was drafted. Giannis Antetokounmpo did not have influence within the organization. Giannis Antetokounmpo did not have influence within the That is the point.
Bro, you're just talking about the drafted. Nepotism.
Part of nepotism is having influence and have power within an organization or set business to get a particular player an opportunity when they don't deserve it. And Giannis Antetokounmpo was not in that situation at the time.
Okay. Let me ask you: is Thanasis, would he be on any other roster besides the Bucks today?
No,
I don't know.
Would he be on any other roster?
He be on
the NBA besides the Bucks? Okay. So you're saying it's the same thing. He's only on the team. Like, you're trying to make this distinction and like make it super. Well, one dude is drafted and one dude has a roster spot. Like the difference is that Bronny's a prospect. He could develop. We know what the Nest is at this point, and he's had a hold on. And he's been on the team for 3 years. He's provided literally nothing to the team. Like, I could argue, well, if the Knott's not gonna do shit, you're better off cutting him and drafting or finding some random prospect he could develop and eventually contribute. It's still nepotism in a different form. It's still nepotism or cronyism. By definition, he's not qualified. He's not an NBA player, but the franchise player is an MVP, a top 5 player in the world. So he uses influence to get the Nasus on the team. It doesn't have to be drafted.
At 40 years old, took a spot.
Hold on. The thing that you got to understand is that, and I'm going to go with Scap after this. The thing that you got to understand, King J, is that when LeBron James lead the Los Angeles Lakers in a year and a half, that's Bronny's career, because he's going to likely get cut by the Los Angeles Lakers, and no other team is going to get Bronny James.
Who cares, bro?
My point is to sit here and say, when this whole thing is like, you got to understand, look, Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't force the organization when he was just drafted to get old boy Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
But why does it have to be drafted? Why are you making that distinction? That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Giannis Antetokounmpo had to develop into that player to have some influence with an organization or a star player to have the organization.
What does that mean? That doesn't make any distinction.
You just trying to
the influence he
has. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, just to reaffirm my point from earlier, since we got some new people on, I'm not even rejecting the premise that nepotism, look, it's rampant around us in the world. Like, it's at every level, from a corporate standpoint to politics to sports and several other instances. Like, I don't really even care that LeBron utilized his influence to get Bronny on. I just want some honesty from them. Like, I don't want this charade to continue about saying like Bronny's deserving of the, like, and I'm not putting that word out, deserving or earned. Like, those are the words, those are the terms that people like JJ Redick are using, that saying that They didn't give Bronny it. It wasn't because of LeBron's influence. It's because Bronny earned it or deserved it. Like it's
because
just
I'm not going to
insulting.
tell you what I was doing. Come on, y'all. Why do y'all
just
keep
insulting
saying
our sensibilities?
Just be honest. And when we don't even just be honest, hey, why don't you just be honest, man? You got herpes, you know you do. Like you just gonna sit up here and be like, yeah, you're right, you got me, dog. Nobody does this. You know what you're doing. Don't just be honest.
He know he hate LeBron. Just tell the truth. You hate LeBron.
I got a second point. The Thanasis comparison isn't quite apples to apples because, quite frankly, nobody cares that Thanasis is on. Like nobody's talking about that.
That's
ever.
The point.
It's not a story. But
that's
Bronny
the point.
And LeBron, it is an absolute circus. It's going to detract from the overall mission of the season,
a circus.
Which is
y'all let him talk.
Y'all are making it a circus.
Can y'all let him talk?
He's the 55th pick. Why would you talk about it?
Let's go.
Because everybody, it's leading the sport. It's leading every time Bronny plays. It's leading the news. Like whenever all season. Hold on. All season, it's going to be a story. Where's Bronny at? Is he down? Is he up? Is he at the end of the bench? Is he going to play? Why isn't JJ playing him? Is there some rift between LeBron and JJ because Bronny isn't getting enough time? It's going to detract. Just come out and say, look, LeBron doesn't care about winning and he just wants to have a feel-good story with his kid for the last 2 seasons.
And if he said that, then y'all going to rip him for that. I don't like when people say, just say it. That's what your girl say when she say, just tell me you cheated. Then you finally do. And you dumb enough to listen and say, okay, I did. And what happens? Does it end right there? No, it doesn't. You should never, when somebody say, just come out and do it, never do it. Don't do it. Don't the cops do that to people when they have them all like that? Just get it off your chest and tell us you killed them. And that dumbass say it, and they still get life. They don't give you less years because you admitted it. I'm not admitting shit. Just don't play.
I just don't like it because I think LeBron's mission, I think his only singular focus should be winning championships. But I guess that's not really all that LeBron cares about at this stage of his career. And I guess that's okay. But that's just one more sterling example of why I don't regard LeBron in the same pantheon of some of the other players.
You just hate him.
Shout out to Ray A. He said, why doesn't every NBA father just draft their son regardless of their talent then?
Most players don't play in the league. They don't play in the league long enough to play with their sons. Anyway, we probably see it maybe one other time.
I keep on saying nepotism, and it's right because LeBron James gives. The thing is, nepotism is wrong on every level. Don't matter what race it is. It's wrong at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit there and employ somebody, bro. At the end of the day, when he's not just fit for the qualification, bro, he's not. I own a business. I own a studio business, bro. Most of the people that work for me, bro,
you hired your son to be the janitor. They gonna tell you wrong for doing it because it was a better guy that could clean the studio than him.
If at the end of hold on. If my son just started engineering, right, 3-4 days ago or a week ago, right, so a guy that's been doing it a longer but also have better skills than him, I'm not going to give him the opportunity to be an engineer when I got somebody that has way more experience and put up way more better quality. Because you know why? When you put business into family, that's when problems always goes on. And that's
okay. But what about the what about the intern? What about the intern? The intern that's learning how to do engineering. Are you going to give that job to your son, or are you going to give it to somebody else?
This doesn't make sense that they're saying this because each one of us has gotten a chance from somebody that thought we could do the job eventually, that we'd be better than somebody else. It is a world that's always done like that. And to say I wouldn't do it for my own fucking child, but I'll do it for this strange person I don't know and give them a chance.
I'm going to ask you something, Tommy, and I'm gonna see where your mind is at, right? You follow me? Right. All right. So say if you in a situation, right, where you're trying to move up ahead in rankings in the company within the organization, right? And this position can make you wealthy, rich, can help your family financially, right? And you really want this position, right? But the guy that's interviewing you, right, his son is also in the running, and it comes down to y'all too. You look at the resume and the qualifications and the skills, you're more fit for the position than his son that is running. But say if you know, the guy that's interviewing you and sat there and say, "Oh, we're going to hire my son because I believe in my son and I think he can be the better fit and stuff like that." How would you feel?
Oh, I can answer that greatly. One, I'd feel the same exact way that I felt when I was in high school, that the girls who was in high school kept sleeping with the drug dealer because they had a car and I didn't. You know what I started to realize? When I get a car and I get money, I'm going to do the same thing. That's what people typically do. So I would say when he gave that person a job that I didn't get, because I've been dark-skinned my whole life and I done lost a lot of jobs to nigga that's light-skinned and white. And you know what I said? I'm going to put myself in position. I'm going to work my ass off to where I don't have that happen. That's what most people do. When you get turned down by girls, what do you say? Do you say it ain't fair? She gave that nigga a shot and he got 3 kids. He ain't qualified. No. You say, I know I lost this one, and when I get in that position, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I would say
You work hard, right?
I would want my son to have the same opportunity this man had. So here's two things I do. I would sit back and watch it, and if his sons fail, I would laugh.
So you might
succeed. Then what do I do if his son succeeds?
So you agree with the premise of working hard to get to where you at right now to be in that position?
Yes,
that is my whole that is my whole premises about nepotism. And
but there were things I lost.
I'm on to the point of working hard, getting to a position, right, where you can make those decisions, then sitting there getting a handout. And that's what nepotism is. It's basically getting a handout to people that don't even deserve the position.
But
here's
the
thing. Here's with my premise.
So they can do.
But here's the thing.
People, you listen to what even Drake said in his song. He worked to get to where he was so he can help his people. Literally, y'all are asking these black athletes that when they make money, who y'all ask them to help? Black folks.
Yeah.
Go and help inner city blacks. But they got inner city whites. But they go help inner city blacks with their money. Y'all are saying silly stuff and acting like you're just really being, oh, I'm standing on business. It's insane. They're asking black men who get rich to go give blacks in the ghetto money, handouts. They don't ask them to go give some to Trailer Park Whites.
Hey, Moss, what you got on this, Moss? But wrap
up. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I'm with Scap a little bit on this one. I mean, Tommy makes some good points, and nepotism goes on every day. I mean, I work in corporate America, so I see it. Sometimes I'm a part of it. I've got fringe jobs, et cetera, et cetera. What I don't like is when somebody's not qualified or deserves a job. Sports is a little bit different. I hate to compare corporate to sports because I think they're a little bit different. But just getting it back to Bronny and LeBron James, this is basketball. This is the Lakers. And I always want to keep this basketball oriented. And so I don't think this was the right team or the right decision or the right time for this thing to happen. If this was the Orlando Magic, Scott, or maybe the Detroit Pistons, right, a team that's not going nowhere, no expectations, you know, then I get it. But you don't pull these type of shenanigans on a franchise like the LA Lakers. It just doesn't fit their mode. This is not what they're about. This is not what they do. And so I got to make this point clear. I understand it, right? Because I'm not naive to the fact of what's going on. I understand it. You know, because there's some kids out there who work their ass off, right? Who's not going to make that Lakers second team. There's some that, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, have they even signed their first round draft pick yet? I don't think they have, or maybe they did. But you've never seen them sign a second pick before they sign the first pick. I mean, that's just flat out dysfunctional in itself. But there's kids out there who work harder, who put up better numbers, put up better stats. You know, it just seems like we're lowering the bar, we're lowering the standard for this kid. And not just that, I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready. And there's a sense of failure that is happening, that's going to happen. There's going to be a dose of reality that's going to hit him hard in the face. But with all that being said, I understand it. I get why it happened. But I can say those things and still not like it. But I'm not naive. The fact that it happens, I understand it. It is what it is. Listen, some things are not in our control, so I'm not going to stress off it too much. But when you make this move, Tommy, right, and these things happen, then you're giving people like me and Scap and Mookie, you know, credence to criticize what's going on. So we can't have it both ways. So if LeBron's going to come out and say these ridiculous statements, and get his son on the team and use his power and influence to get someone. That's cool. Gotcha. That means the floodgates are wide open, and I'm going to criticize basketball every chance I get. And so
they understand that, but y'all aren't. Y'all, if y'all are criticizing basketball, you've already made your proclamation that he's going to suck, like most of us.
Yeah. I think it's very clear.
Christian McCaffrey was not going to be a good running back. We thought he only got drafted that high because A, he was white, and B, his daddy played in the NFL. We did not think he was going to be able to transition that game to the NFL, but he went out and he did it.
Well, he went hard.
Now everybody said what they got to say. Now we got to let the boy go out there and fail.
Hey, Tommy, you reference a lot of Bay Area teams. Are you on the West Coast?
What you talking about, boy?
Hey,
let's go 49ers.
Okay, because I'm in Sacramento, man.
I just want to thank Scap for pulling up. Salute to Scap.
Oh, love my boy Scap, man. Yeah.
Boy brought the energy, cooking mostly all the stream. Ghost was it fun. Shout out my guy Tommy. Shout out to Scap, man. Salute to everybody.
Y'all all passionate.
Huh?
I said this was fun. Y'all all passionate. I like that. And y'all all kept the respect, but everybody and your boy, what you say his name, Scap, the one beside you?
Yeah. Yeah, Scap.
That motherfucker all about stats. You can't come in. I tried to sneak in a couple and he just left me alone. I said,
look at you, Scap.
I left him alone. I said,
hey, Mookie, can I ask Tommy one more question? It sounds like
Go ahead. Salute to everybody for pulling up. Shout out to Scap. Hope we can do this again, Scap. Salute to you, man. Real talk.
Thank you, Scap.
Absolutely,
yes,
guys. Thank you, Mookie.